Okay, so I've been seeing this video making the rounds with a lot of other VTubers reacting to it, so I'm gonna react to it because of course my reaction is the most important reaction and nobody else's reactions matter. Mine's the only one. Oh shit, what did I... I fucked up. Kevin! Thank you for the 6 months! Holy shit, 6 months! Thank you!
It's my
I
birthday
appreciate
today
it.
too.
Happy birthday, Chaotic. Happy birthday, Chaotic. Happy birthday, Chaotic. Happy birthday, Chaotic. Happy birthday to you. Put it in Discord next time. But thank you for the 14 months. Better help. Thank you for the 5 gift subs. I appreciate it. Blah, blah. Blah, blah. Blah, blah. Okay. Shut the fuck up. Let's just get into it. Hi! Me too. Video muted? Damn, that's crazy. She said hi to me and I said hi back, and now everybody is gonna think that I'm weird and just like saying hi, even though nobody said hi.
Hi, I think I'm starting to spiral here. In every other kind of media, shows, books, movies, we expect characters to be these complex, emotionally layered, and oftentimes attractive
God, they're
people.
so ugly.
CD Projekt Red gave us Geralt in a bathtub, and the entire internet said, absolute cinema. But when a female game character is hotter, suddenly it's like the studio committed some kind of...
Oh my god, this game studio is full of fucking gooners. I can see the curve of this female character's ass. Therefore, everyone who is involved in it hates women, and they're all misogynist, and they're just appealing to gamer dudes who don't even care about women and don't see women as people, and they're all just fucking gooners. Oh my god, it's actual gooner bait.
war crime. And somewhere between 2014 and now, these types of women just started
Wait, why is her
disappearing
shoulder
more and
transparent?
more from our Western games. You know, women who had beauty and charm and mystery, lip gloss, and the ability to just ruin your life with a single dialogue option. So let's talk about the modern female protagonist. How did you feel when I said that? Yeah, that's what I thought.
The modern female protagonist. Have I even played any games that, like what they're talking about? I didn't play the new Assassin's Creed. Undertale? I don't think that character has a gender. I think it's just whatever the player character is. Like, it's supposed to be like an insert for a kid or something. So I don't think it's really clarified. Did you play Stellar Blade? Yeah, I did play Stellar Blade. But I don't think Stellar Blade is what they're talking about for some reason.
Typically, they're more emotionally walled off. They're vaguely angry, honestly.
Angry?
They have tactical
Oh, The Last of Us 2. Does The Last of Us 2 count?
everything, tragic backstories, but a lot of times won't talk about it with you. Muted color palettes, and no cute hairstyles or makeup or joy, and they normally display more masculine traits. And I'm not saying that these characters
No. Let's let her cook. Let's let her cook.
If they're not done extremely well, the issue isn't just that so many of them fall flat, it's that they don't resonate at all. They're not iconic, they're not aspirational,
true.
and they're just not the kind
Abby
of character
was
you want to think about after the credits
a
roll.
failure.
Just like the women that I obsess over in all my books and TV shows, the smart, complex, stunning characters, I just want to aspire to the character that I'm playing in a game. She should feel powerful and gorgeous and emotionally relatable in a way that makes sense. But most of the leads that we're getting nowadays, they're not memorable. And let's be honest, they're not exactly breaking the internet. Okay, at least
Owen and Abby having the boat scene scared me. Yeah, it's just, oh, okay. I don't think that every female character needs to be gorgeous or pretty or whatever. I think that's like a non-starter. Though I do think that if we're going to have a protagonist character and she's not hot, I'm gonna be like a little annoyed because I want the character I'm playing to be attractive because I'm gonna have to stare at them for fucking hours on end, 24/7. Which, by the way, can I say something? Can I say something? You guys know Joel from the first game? Joel is like... Do I have daddy issues or like... Like, you can't say, like, he's some... I mean, if he's a male fantasy insert, then, man, men must actually want to be, like, really attractive. Men must also aspire to be really attractive, because I think Joel is, like, he's, like, a good-looking man. He's a good-looking man to me. I'm not crazy. I'm not fucking crazy.
Good way. The characters that really stand out, that make a difference, they've got it all. They've got the looks and the charm and the presence and the personality, and they've got the things that make people care, or at least cosplay. Well, we didn't want to over-sexualize her. Okay, that's fine. I'm on board with that. But somewhere along the way, that turned into she can't flirt, or cry, or be too gentle, or smile too much, or wear makeup. Yes, sorry, I'm gonna hit on that a little bit today. We went from don't objectify her to don't let her feel like a real person. And she can be strong, but not soft, beautiful, but only if it's on accident.
I feel like it's a bunch of like people who were told when they started writing, they were basically told, when you want to write a good female character, just write a man and then change the gender. And I actually think that's fucking horrible advice. I think it's horrible advice both ways. I feel like if you approach either gender writing it the same way as the other one, that you write more often, I think you're missing something because they're both socialized and treated very differently.
Heaven forbid she has feelings and good hair at the same time. And I think about this every time that I get the opportunity to make a custom character in a game. She is always a baddie that has lore. Winged eyeliner, mysterious aura. Every NPC in the game is in love with her. And honestly, they should be, okay? My tab in Baldur's Gate 3. An angel.
Who?
She walks into a scene and the lighting just
she's hot.
Gets better. Gale starts sweating and Asterion is chomping at the bit. Shadowheart's having some conflictions. And her inventory is even more iconic. She's got 3 cursed rings, an apple, and a morally questionable tiara that she just doesn't want to take off. And it just makes you
questionable
wonder, because
tiara?
if certain games let you create characters with so much charm and magnetism, why can't games with dedicated female leads do the same thing? Well, what are some of the more recent female leads that we've been graced with? I think about Frey from Forspoken. She can fight dragons and bend the laws of physics and literally parkour across dimensions. That's super cool.
That's pretty
but
based.
For some reason, they gave her the most awkward dialogue and had her deliver every line like she was on hold with customer service.
What?
What about Kate Best?
Can you show a clip? Because I want to see what you're talking about. Okay, this is my advice for a video. Add the clip so I can see what you mean, so I can laugh at it.
From Star Wars Outlaws. She's a scrappy space outlaw, in theory. In practice, she kind of just plays like she just respawned from a bug and isn't sure where she is or why she's there. Okay, well, what about female Ivor from Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Oh.
Actually, she was canonically the real one. But you probably wouldn't know that because even Ubisoft was like, dang, that's crazy. Anyway, check out this guy's beard.
That's crazy.
Or Dragon Age the Veilguard. This game was like 10 years in the oven, and somehow it still came out soggy. It often felt cringy instead of charming, and there really wasn't much mystery, but there was a lot of lecturing. And instead of emotionally rich companions, we kinda just got chronically online Twitter bios in fantasy outfits. I think you get the point, but I'm gonna say it anyway. We need female characters with range. With presence, with a little drama, if you will. The girls who made you feel something were not perfect.
Drama? What do you mean drama? What, do you mean like having a character arc? Like every character should have?
They were messy and charismatic and complicated in the best way. Sadie Adler from Red Dead 2, her husband literally dies and she goes, cool, I'm going feral now. And grieving? Yes. Stunning? Yes. Horse girl? Absolutely. But I would let her run me over with that horse. Chloe Fraser from Uncharted. She's flirty and morally flexible and somehow still makes betrayal feel hot. Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy.
Oh, Tifa.
Still makes betrayal feel hot. Tifa Lockhart.
Tifa, by the way.
From Final Fantasy. She could literally take down a behemoth in one hit and then quietly make you some soup and ask if you've been sleeping okay. Max from Life is Strange. A super sweet, anxious girl who accidentally rewrote the entire space-time continuum just because she had too many feelings. And honestly, we love a relatable queen. Or Nabooru from the Legend of Zelda series. She leads armies and fights evil, and somehow she still looks like she's posing for a...
The Gerudo? I don't really like muscle women, but whenever I see the Gerudo women in Breath of the Wild, I feel like there's a part of me that starts to get it, and it scares me.
Low cover the entire time, probably my first girl crush. This should not be controversial, but I'll say it. We need to bring back great male leads. okay? And not because women can't carry
She's
a story,
right, and she
but
should
because
say it.
we've just like chucked balance off a cliff. It seems like the knee-jerk reaction to underrepresentation accusations became all female everything forever, no notes. And now, after we've gotten so many forgettable female leads, not you, Ellie and Aloy, my queens.
Yeah, not Ellie. Not Ellie. I have a lot of criticisms about the way that female characters are portrayed in a lot of modern games, but not Ellie. Not Ellie. Ellie, I like Ellie a lot. And, I don't know. Looking at Ellie, bro, and like, I know it's fucked up. Like, I know all the shit she does in the second game is like bad, and she's like going through the worst time of her life, and like she's slipping, and she's going into like a evil depression motivated by revenge, and like she's becoming a monster. But isn't that so fucking hot?
With all the others, we've hit this weird place where the audience is
Watching her
already
stab people in the
exhausted
neck.
before the trailer even ends. And unfortunately, caught in the crossfires of this has been Naughty Dog's new IP, Intergalactic, and Ghost of Yote. But when I think about just well-written women in games, what's interesting is some of gaming's best
Lucy,
women
we
were
are
not
learning
even
things. Chatty, I have taught you nothing new.
the protagonist, but they were the scene stealers. Ciri from The Witcher 3
She's
is
hot!
quite literally the entire reason that Geralt is risking his life across these
Oh my god,
war-torn
me too.
kingdoms. And
I
she's
understand,
this
Geralt.
complicated, beautiful,
I
just
understand him.
wild young girl who's somehow still more mature than everyone else around her. Or Yuna from Final Fantasy X, this graceful,
What can I do for you?
selfless, and devastating character who's literally carrying
an
the hopes of an
idol.
entire world on her back, and then she still apologizes when she inconveniences you. And if
That is
that's
so
not
woman
being a
pilled.
girl, I
That is
don't
so
know what
woman
is.
pilled.
Or Midna
Exactly.
from
That's the
Twilight
most honest
Princess.
woman
All right,
pilled
she's a little
writing
bit
ever.
Annoying at first, but she bullies Link for like the first 30 hours of the game, saves his life, opens a dimensional portal, and then vanishes.
Pretty base, pretty base.
Tear. He never says a word to her the entire game, but she says everything with her absence. Truly a legendary situationship. And while Western games are nervously
So, Chatty, do you like Midna best before her transformation? Or would you do both? 1 for before, 2 for after, 3 for both.
nerfing kind of every trace of femininity from their female characters, Eastern devs are like, yeah, here's a mysterious
those
woman who
fucking
could
threes.
kill you and make you cry about it. You're welcome. Capcom? They've been in their iconic woman era since like forever. Resident
Iconic
Evil is one
woman.
of my all-time favorite series, and
I like
Jill
Resident
is tactical,
Evil.
calm, and easily has the cleanest
I haven't played really any of the Resident Evils that have a female protagonist, but that doesn't really mean anything because I haven't played more than Resident Evil 4.
Bob in gaming. Ada is mysterious, stylish, and she might lie
I fucking hate what they did with Ada in the remake. I think the remake Ada deserves a little bit of this criticism. I do. I feel like they took away her flirtiness and they took away her smugness and then they made her just a pure businesswoman in the remake, which I feel takes away a lot of her charm. Like, what's wrong with Ada getting business done while also winking and like threatening to suck Leon's dick, but then not actually doing it because she's an evil tease? What's wrong with that? Bring back sexy businesswoman
your
Ada.
face, but she's still gonna get a fan cam. Claire is this beautiful, kind, capable woman who takes zero nonsense, and Lady D had like 10 minutes of screen time in Village, and she still owned Halloween for like the next 2 years. They're hot.
And yet people were mad about it. People were so mad. People were so mad that men found her sexually attractive. They were so angry. They were like, she's not for you! She's not for you! No! No! She's not for straight men!
Screen time in Village, and she still owned Halloween for like the next 2 years. They're hot, they're cool, they've got so much range, and you remember them. You want to be them, or you just kind of want them to emotionally damage you just a little bit.
I
It's the
do
same
want
kind of
Ada
energy
from the
with
original
Monster Hunter
RE4
Wilds.
to emotionally
They dropped a
damage
couple
me,
of composed,
but not the
stunning
remake.
women, and the internet instantly started to cosplay. They're expressive and graceful, and they've just got that magnetism about them. And that's why the boys are in love, the girls are in love, and I am in love. And then we've got From
She's
Software,
in love.
who just casually releases the most haunting, elegant women in modern gaming like it's nothing. The doll
I
from Bloodborne,
agree.
our favorite Victorian
She's so
comfort
pretty.
character. She's soft-spoken, she's gentle, and she definitely knows more than she's letting on. Or Lady Maria, tragic, terrifying
love Lady
character with
Maria.
perfect
I
posture.
love Lady
And 10 out
Maria.
of 10, I would let her fight me again.
I died
Or
so many
Ronnie
times
from
to her
Elden
fight.
Ring, who I was
So
quite
I could
literally
see
on
her
my knees
more,
for,
not
and
because
I
I
made
was
sure to
bad.
do every single step of her quest so I could serve her as me Elden Lord. Or Melina. Melina was so glowing.
Do you know her lore? Didn't she kind of fuck up something really bad and she felt so bad about it that she basically like, what's the word? She, now! You should, now! Isn't that what she
and
did?
quiet and just sad. And then when she leaves you at the side of grace, like, my work here is done. And you're just devastated and you're just sitting there all by yourself, alone, in your little tunic. These ladies do not need exposition dumps or 80 cutscenes. They just show up and
Is this
drip
a mod?
elegance,
This
drop one
Oblivion
line of
shit we're
vague
looking
sorrow,
at?
and then next thing you know, you're obsessing over cosplays and fan art for like the next month. I say all of this because femininity is not outdated. It's not shallow, and it's not something that you
Have you
need to
seen
water
the
down for
recluse
the
from
story to
Night
be
Rain?
taken
No.
seriously. It's range.
Meow.
So
For the redeem.
please let women be cute and manipulative, kind and a little
Based.
chaotic.
Bring back Ada being manipulative. Bring back Ada being smug. Bring back Ada being flirty and then stabbing Leon in the back while he's attracted to her. That was what made her so fucking appealing in the first place. Just like the bland-ass dry delivery of the remake Ada kills me.
Soft, but have sharp teeth. Pretty, powerful, emotionally devastating, and the reason the protagonist starts journaling in a cave somewhere. Because femininity is Zelda.
I think Lucy really loves
steadfast
old
and
Ada.
radiant and
Yeah, and guess what? I love that fucking dress too. I love the bitch in the red dress. I know it's not realistic. Oh, but why would Ada go to a village in the middle of Spain in a dress? It's not convenient. It's not about convenience, you stupid piece of shit! It's not about convenience. It's a fucking video game. It's a fucking video game. Do you think that if Leon were real, he could actually kill that many people, like in one fucking day, and actually get away with it and save the president's daughter? No! Because it's not real!
standing between her kingdom and ruin with nothing but hope and stubborn grace. Or Triss, who's clever and compassionate and plays politics with you with a super soft smile that just makes
Politics.
you kind of forget that she's winning. Or Bayonetta, who's
Wow.
playful and provocative and
They're trying to rebrand Bayonetta.
treats every battlefield like
They're
a
trying.
runway and then never manages to smudge her lipstick. Or Lightning,
Eugene,
who's
welcome,
a
hi.
beautiful, guarded, and grieving character
I think Lightning is pretty, but I'm never going to play Final Fantasy
who
13.
carries the entire weight of the world in 6-inch heels. And when female characters are done right, they're not flat or abrasive or weak. They're actually
Did you hear that? She just said that they can't be flat. She literally said that the female characters need to have big tits, otherwise they're not real female characters. This woman should be canceled.
of gold. They have tension and softness that stabs, or beauty as a weapon. Let's let women be gorgeous and terrifying, sweet and strategic, gentle and unhinged. Let them be feminine again.
No, everything that you just said is misogynist. I am now preparing a new game where the female character is just a male character, but we gave it tits. And you're going to like it, and if you don't like it, then that means that you hate women, by the way. And you're the problem, and you're what's wrong with gaming currently. Get fucked. Good video! Bunny Lucy and Bunny Numi. Oh my god, look at this, Chatty! Chatty, look. Oh, we swapped clothes. Oh, we swapped clothes. Isn't it funny that I'm doing like the red bikini, not bikini, Jesus Christ, the red bunny suit today? It's almost like it was planned. It was always in the cards. Here I am, once again. I'm torn in the pieces. Can't deny it, can't pretend. Just thought you were the one. It's really cute art. Oh my god, thank you. Oh my god, thank you, Atlas Shadow Mean. I appreciate it. We need to talk about the anime awards. Okay, so apparently people are mad about this. Why?
Congratulations,
happened?
soda leveling. Congratulations.
Soda leveling?
Free run who? Overrated.
Oh my
It's
God.
all like feelsy stuff. All right, Don. Mid.
Oh.
Apothecary Diaries. I'm a misogynist
Oh.
actually. Hello, YouTuber des. I have just come home from the Crunchyroll Anime Awards and I just hit the start stream button. What could possibly go wrong? I was a part of the awards this year. Personally, I had a great time. The biggest surprise of the night was seeing Flo, and I was like, okay, Flo's coming on. It's the Code
Those are the
Geass
people
opening.
who made the
Absolutely no way it's anything but the Code Geass opening. And then
So guys, Code Geass won Anime of the Year again, right?
they bring out the Eureka 7 opening. I'm like,
No, that's crazy.
holy shit. The absolute rush of nostalgia that I got, man. So we're starting things off in reverse order, ending on Anime of the Year. Best Japanese voice performance.
Aoi
Let's
Yuki,
go!
yeah, that's fair.
Oh, Apothecary Diaries won something. Oh my god. Absolutely deserved. Mao Mao was not only one of the standout performances of the year, but also...
Oh, that's her name, right? Mao Mao? Yes! Yes! Madoka! Futaba! Evie? Wait, she's Evie? Ella! Yeah,
one
she deserved
of
it.
the standout characters of the year.
You can just hear the
Next
emotion
up,
behind the
we
Ella.
get to best ending sequence. Solo leveling. So I don't even remember the ending. I'm a dirty ED skipper. So don't have too many opinions of the ending. I'll let you guys decide if this deserved to win best ending.
Okay, before we get into this, I'm gonna guess that Solo Leveling won the awards. So let's just get an opinion poll in here really quickly. Press 1 if you like Solo Leveling, and press 2 if you're like pissed right now.
to guess you guys think that this did not deserve to win best ending.
Well, it looks pretty good.
Next up, we have best opening. Okay, this one deserved.
That's a lot of angry
This is not
people.
surprising. This was the one that
True.
I did vote for. It wasn't a question of if CreepyNuts would
Oh
win.
my god, you can vote on
It was
this?
a
Am I
question
stupid?
of which CreepyNuts
I thought this was
opening
voted on
was
by,
going to win. I don't know.
industry
It
people.
so perfectly encapsulates the feeling, the quirky
Sarah
energy
Licious, welcome.
of Dan Da Dan. So much so that there is absolutely no way the second opening is going to live up to this first opening of Dan Da Dan. This might age poorly, but I'm saying this right now. This opening is the perfect opening for Dan Da Dan. Next up,
Wait, was that Iron Mouse?
best score solo leveling once again, and
Guys, we love
I just
Solo
want to clear
Leveling!
this up right now because I've seen a few people that think that I hate solo leveling, that I'm just like a professional hater of solo leveling. You do? There is a difference between being a hater and
Me, when I'm like, I know there's a lot of people who think I hate Final Fantasy 14, and then everyone's like, you do!
and just
And I'm
calling
like, no,
out
no, no,
that there are some
guys,
aspects
guys,
that
it's more
are
nuanced than
overhyped.
that.
If you are looking for hype, action, and aura, this is it. Having said that, anime is more than just that. It is not that I dislike solo leveling. It is more so that its competition, in my opinion, is just far stronger. I don't think solo leveling has a bad score. In fact, I am not surprised. It is Hiroyuki
I need to get
Sawano,
back on
but
the anime
goddamn,
watching
I
train.
just think the competition was just that much stronger. The work that Evan Cole did on Free Ren Beyond Journey's End was holy shit. It was from another world, man. Every so often you hear an OST and you hear a work that you just think that
This convinces me not watching anime is to play. That's crazy. What a crazy thing to say. Can you imagine if there was like a VTuber awards or something and then your Oshi didn't win anything and you were like, this just convinced me to not watch my Oshi anymore and not watch anything that like VTubers do because my Oshi didn't win. That would be a crazy thing to say, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be crazy.
remind you of what something truly spectacular is. There are other nominations that I am very, very much a fan of. I loved the OST of Look Back. Oh my god. Never fails to bring a tear to my eye. Obviously with Dan Da Dan as well. Kensuke Ushio is one of my favorite composers
I've
as
been
well.
seeing a lot of
You
seed
gotta
about
understand,
Dan Da
the
Dan
whole world
on
was
Twitter.
tuned into solo leveling. I do understand. Which brings us to
Were
the
they?
next point.
Were they
Best
though? Were
anime
they really?
song. Otonoke, CreepyNuts again. Not surprised about this. Next, up, must protect at all costs characters.
Yes.
I mean, of course.
Anya
it's
Forger.
Just call this the Anya Award, all right? The only one that I could really see competing
I think it should be for Aaron.
against this is probably Yuki, maybe. Hojo would just run away from everything. Best supporting character, Fern. Wow.
No, he never stood a chance against Anya. Scorpius, thank you for the sub. Welcome. Hi.
Giga Chad himself. We take it. No complaints here. Looking at all the nominees, I don't actually
Aaron
think
protects
I
you.
would-
I want to protect her while she pretends that I'm doing something. I want her to give me that smug face and be like, wow, Lucy, you're doing a great job protecting me. Great work.
be disappointed if any of these nominees won. Next up, we have the awards that I announced. Guys, we stay positive here, guys. We stay positive. Did you not see how positive I was on stream? Did you not see that? You know, I was smiling. This is a
Bro, he was so fucking mad. Holy shit. Have you ever seen anyone so angry before?
the awards that I
Have you
announced.
ever seen...
Guys, we stay positive here, guys. We stay positive. Did you not see how positive I was on stream? Did you not see that? You know, I was smiling. This is a professional award, guys, and I am professional.
Yeah.
We had Freeren. We had
barely
Kafka,
held that shit back.
We had Momo.
Wait, Scorpius, did I say thank you for the sub? Because if I didn't, thank you,
and
but I
of
think I did,
course
but I'll say it
we
again.
had
Thank you.
Sung Jin-woo. When we talk about
Yeah.
characters, when we talk about character writing, when we talk about best characters, you know, you think of like emotional depth, you think of complexity, relatability maybe, you think of interesting characters. And there are some
And I think that it's like really important to nail your main character because, in my opinion, I've watched way too many, not just anime, but like there's too many stories, shows, and shit that have side characters who are more compelling than the main character.
fantastic nominations on this one. Far and beyond my goat out of all these nominations, most definitely Mao Mao. And, you know, if Mao Mao didn't win, I would not have been disappointed with a lot of these nominees, you know? The only nomination I think here is a little bit weaker compared to some of the rest is Kafka. Sung Jin-woo, though. Compared to the competition, I cannot even hide my disappointment. I am a professional, but out of the two ones that I announced, this one was the most surprising to me because the competition for this category was just that strong. It was so strong. And what topped it all was Aura.
Oh my
What
god.
topped it all was
Pure
Aura,
aura
man.
farming
I just
is
don't
what makes
think
you the
can
best
argue
character.
That Sung Jin-woo has as much emotional depth or complexity as some of these other characters. He had like one scene.
You
I
just
think,
know there's
where
somebody
he cried,
there
and-
who's,
and
like,
that was it. That
seething
was
about
the
it.
most emotions we saw in like two.
I heard solo leveling watchers are like really hard to please though, because anytime there's an episode that's not like a shonen fight with two characters just fighting each other, they give it like the lowest ratings in the show. So it's like there's not really much opportunity to develop him because they get mad when you try.
2 seasons. Aura crushed the competition like Sung Jin-woo crushed the competition in solo leveling. But Freeren beat Aura.
Just watch the abridged version. Oh, there's an abridged version? Maybe we should watch it.
Wait, this is best new series. Where's best main character? Is that what I looked like? Oh no. Oh
See, he
no.
called himself professional, but he didn't realize the face he was
no.
making. This is literally content that's like, watch people die inside. Watch people die inside. That's the face.
This is like when your parents tell you to smile, man. Just smile through the pain. Just smile through it.
And the anime award goes to... Oh... Sung Jin-woo from Solo Leveling.
You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now.
You can see
Oh
me
my
go
God.
like this. I was like, yo, chat is losing it right now.
Sung Jin-woo from Solo Leveling.
That pause was just like, All right, I'm reading this out now. I'm reading this out. Yes, copium. Yes.
He did
Okay,
better
very,
than
very
I would have at that
professional. Next
moment.
up.
I feel like I could not be professional in that moment if somebody won an award that I was just like, wow, that's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. I would be like, Sung Jinwoo from Solo Leveling. Like, it would be so obvious.
Again, this is also another one where most of these nominations, I was like, you know what? I don't mind. Can't complain about this one. It might not have been the one I enjoyed the most compared to some of this. I don't know what, I think, I can't remember if I voted for Dangers in My Heart, but I still very, very much enjoyed Makine. This actually got one of the biggest cheers of the night when this won. You could definitely tell the difference between Japanese taste and foreign tastes because goddamn, during these nominations, I think every one of them got a clap. It was like, yes, we finally got a category that we all vibe with, guys. Best drama, Free Run Beyond Journey's End. Let's go. No complaints there. Again, some very, very strong competition. I don't think I would have been disappointed with a single one of these nominations. Every one of these, except for A Sign of Affection, has made it in my top anime lists of the year.
All I hear about Oshinoko these days is that it's like fallen off or whatever.
Again, super stacked category. And it is the one that I voted for. Season 3 was a banger. Isekai fans, let's just take the dub that we have a category for ourselves, and we are not just fucking thrown in with best fantasy, where we're inevitably going to lose to Demon Slayer.
No,
anyway,
I didn't know.
Oh man, pity category. Best action, solo leveling. Unsurprising.
It's
this
okay.
is
I
one
think
of the only
if anything, it
categories for
deserves
solo leveling
action,
that I'm
right?
not disappointed that solo leveling won this category. Do I think that there might be some stronger contenders? Perhaps. But am I disappointed that Solo Leveling won? No, Solo Leveling is an action anime. And as I've already said, I enjoy the action in Solo Leveling. And I think I much prefer the action in Season 2. There was, I think, one good fight in Solo Leveling Season 1. Just kind of makes me terrified of next year because I think Solo Leveling really starts to stand out in Season 2. At least it wasn't Demon Slayer.
Wait, do people hate Demon Slayer now?
We'll get to that. Best comedy, Mashal, not disappointed. My vote would go to either of these two. Congratulations to Mashal for this one. Oh man,
what the fuck? What happened?
How many awards has Alex Lee got this this year? He's getting a dub in basically every single award.
He did a Makoto
Did he actually
Yuki?
lose best English VA?
Okay, he deserves it then for that.
Okay.
Melon Lord, welcome.
Oh my god. Sung Jinwoo, yes. All right, best romance, Blue Box. Not
Imagine that had been solo leveling too.
My favorite again was Dangers in My Heart Season 2. But again, fantastic nominations. I don't have time for salt or anger anymore. I'm just happy when a good series gets recognition. Did Rent a Girlfriend air this year? Next up, best background art. I mean, again, no complaints here. Congratulations, Free Run.
I mean, I see it. Okay, I didn't understand the category for a second. No.
For this one. Next up. Okay. This one got a massive. It was like, I think this was the most wholesome category.
I'm
of
shocked
the entire
that
night.
Solo Leveling didn't win this one. It wasn't even nominated.
Was every single one of these nominations. It was just so nice just to see the industry patting each other on the back. Every single time one of these nominees got announced, they got a fucking big applause every time one of them
all of the people getting paid $5 a month to make anime, clapping for each other in that moment. Wholesome.
names got mentioned. When Keiichiro Sato got announced, he also got a massive cheer, man. And I just couldn't be happier. He is one talented ass director. I'm just saying, out of all these, Megami Shitani, I'm waiting. You managed to get on this nomination list with a short film. Imagine if she directs
thank you for the
either
very nice,
a film
tier
or an
3
anime
sub.
series, man. Imagine, just imagine 10% of her power, man. She is a shoo-in for a future winner of this award.
He sounds very knowledgeable.
A question of if, it is.
Chatty, I'm gonna become a researcher and become a full-time anime watcher, and then I'm going to know everything about the anime industry, and then I'm going to use my power to make unhinged essays on YouTube that are like 2 hours long
It's going
each.
to be a question of when. Best character design, Dan as well. Again, great. Stacked category. We are just living on the wholesomeness here. We are just living
It's
on
like
the
the same
W's
anime
here,
over
man.
and over
Best
again, though. I'm pretty
animation
much noticing.
Was surprising.
Really? Imagine that was a real scene
9 out
and
of
not
10
an edit.
times when Demon Slayer wins Best Animation, which I believe it is normally a shoo-in to win Best Animation. I'm like, no complaints here. This year, I think compared
Oh, no,
to
they
previous
fell off?
seasons
They
of
fell
Demon
off?
Slayer, I think that Demon Slayer had one 10 out of 10 episode. And if it was that one episode that was representing the entire season, no complaints here. Did that final episode of Demon Slayer absolutely pop off with its animation? Yes. Were there other nominees compared to Demon Slayer that I think, as a whole, showcased
You should
stronger
just be glad
animation
Solo Leveling didn't
across
win again,
the
bro. You
entire
just
run?
be glad. Just look at the fucking bright side. You said you keep it positive here.
Definitely yes. We can't go a Crunchyroll Anime Awards without having some Demon Slayer in there, right? Next up.
Huh?
Wow, probably the one I was most surprised about. And then I thought about it.
Hi, Viper.
And then I was like, I'm gonna come back to this because I think in hindsight this does
Oh, that
make
was
sense.
cool.
But it plays on to what my general thoughts of
I'm
the
gonna
award
watch
was
every anime
overall.
based
The
off of who won the
second
awards.
award that
I'm gonna be a
I
normie.
announced was, of course,
Oh god.
Best
Oh god.
New Series. Solo Leveling. This was the moment where I'm like, I think I know how these awards are going to go now. Out of all of these, I was like, holy shit, what a strong fucking year. I knew coming into this, Solo Leveling was far and beyond going to be the most popular show out of every nomination. That was something that I
Then
knew
why were you
coming into this.
surprised?
I knew this year was very, very stacked for nominations. But number two, I also think that Solo Leveling's competition in terms of like nominations,
I feel like the other anime on the list have a more diverse audience, but I'm guessing the audience that loved Solo Leveling more was just more fucking massive.
also got decently fucking popular. Like
Prince
Free
Lazarus,
became
welcome,
a
hi.
phenomenon here in Asia. Dan, obviously the hot new Shonen Jump title as well. Apothecary Diaries, bringing in a whole new audience. I think that some of these nominations also got decently popular, and it wasn't as obvious.
But it wasn't
coming into
enough.
this. Was popularity going to skew the results as much? as
Normies win
previous
by
years?
sheer number?
This was
Do you
the
think it's
award
normies who
that
like
taught
Solo
me-
Leveling the
Yes,
most?
it probably will do. If Frieren, Dan, Apothecary Diaries, and Dungeon Meshi could not even hold a candle to Solo Leveling, I don't have much hope for the other categories.
Couldn't hold
After
a
this,
candle?
I was like, no,
Wait,
okay,
wait.
I'm not
How
surprised
bad was the
anymore. Like,
loss?
no anger. Me, zero anger. I feel nothing. I feel
Me.
nothing, guys.
Me
You guys
from now
expect
on.
me to crash out? You know what? Congratulations, Solo Leveling.
I never crash out. I never get sad.
Congratulations. I'm gonna give a clap for this
I've
one.
never canceled a
Alright.
stream over
Free
emotions.
Run who? Overrated.
never happened.
Who really like enjoys free run? Let's be honest. You know, it's all like feelsy stuff. All right, Dan, mid. Apothecary Diaries. I'm a misogynist actually. This has who as the main character? You really think it is
Holy-
able to?
I hope somebody, like, in his community also turns that into a clip and it's like, I'm a misogynist, actually. I hope they turn that into a fucking clip and they spam it.
Catch up to my goat right here. I just feel nothing at this point.
I feel nothing.
Going on to the next one. Best continuing series. This one category. I was like jaw open. Absolutely no
Over
fucking way.
One Piece?
Holy shit. Someone has dethroned the One Piece award. The best continuing series? This is the One Piece award. What are you doing, Demon Slayer?
How?
In what is, in my
How?
opinion, your weakest season. One Piece.
I haven't even watched One Piece, and I would say, like, people who like One Piece never really say, oh, it's fallen off. I've never really heard One Piece people say, oh, One Piece is, used to be so good. They're usually just, like, it's consistently, like, at the same level of good for them. And yet, Demon Slayer dethroned it?
Fans. Now you know how it feels to be a fantasy fan in the previous years,
Hydration.
man. You think you're
Did you
a
guys know how the
shoo-in
gamer
for
sub's
one
called?
of your shows to be a shoo-in for the winner. Then in comes fucking Demon Slayer with the metal chair. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, man. Great as well. Great. Look back. Deserved. My anime of last year. Fucking masterclass.
Do I know
it
this
just
song?
got the recognition it deserved.
I've heard a
If
lot
you
of
haven't
anime
seen
songs
this,
without
go
watching
give
the
it a
anime is
watch,
the thing.
Which, of course,
I
brings
watch all of
us
those
to
playlists on YouTube.
Anime of the Year,
Woo!
which I was not surprised about. I knew this was going to
So
win.
good. Oh
because
my god.
in case you had forgotten, it is the exact
way.
same nominations as Best New Series.
Whoa.
I would raise more eyebrows if Solo Leveling didn't win this one. I feel nothing.
He
Feel
feels
nothing.
nothing.
When was the
He feels
last
nothing.
time any one of us felt anything?
I guess I'll go back to Best Continuing Series. Sorry, Best New Original Anime. Ninja Kamui won this. And initially, I was exceedingly
Really?
surprised about this
I haven't
one.
heard
because
people talk
I was
about this.
like, okay, obviously,
About this
I have
anime
my
at all.
favorites. Is Girls Band Cry. And then I thought
Oh,
about
no.
it.
Yeah, to be
And then
fair, I
was
haven't
like,
heard any of the others
course
either.
Girls Band Cry was not going to win this one. This wasn't even legally available for like months.
What the fuck?
So many people could not fucking watch this.
Wait, I wanna
And
watch this now.
out of
I wanna
all
watch it
these
now. I wanna
shows,
watch it now.
The one that started off the strongest with some great animation was Ninja Kamui. Okay, with strong
Girls Brand Cry was worse Bocchi in my opinion. Shadi, I watched the first episode of Bocchi and I haven't watched the second episode. Somebody please make fun of me and bully me and tell me I'm a fake anime watcher so that I'll get back up on the train and I'll start watching anime again, please. This is inspiring me. This is my inspiration content to start watching fucking anime again.
action animation. What was the director
Fake
of Ninja
weeb.
Kamui? Oh, what's his name again?
Fake!
I'm a big fan. This is
Oh,
me.
it
This is me
hurts.
in Japanese
Oh, it
names.
hurts.
Yeah, I think Song
It's
Park
working.
does some amazing action direction and action choreography.
You're not a real
and
weeb.
I think
Ow.
Ninja Kamui got a lot of hype in the beginning. Very, very
In the
hype,
beginning.
flashy, great action scenes. And I think what I realized after this many years of covering the Anime Awards and seeing what wins, people, and specifically, I
Only
think
care about Aura?
it's the Western audience, right? Because
Ah,
Crunchyroll is
he's doing it. He's doing it, bro. He's doing the thing. He's doing the thing where you blame the Western audience.
very much a representation of
You
the Western
fucking
audience.
Westerners.
Anime has gotten
Magic Bob, thank you for the sub.
that
Welcome to the
not
Cringe
everyone that votes
Empire.
on the Crunchyroll Anime Awards or just watches anime in general are just going to watch like the entire spectrum of what anime has to offer. A lot of the appeal in terms of what gets headlines.
If we just gatekeeped like normies from
and
watching
what gets spread
anime, then
around,
I think it would be
especially just
fine.
Things that break out of the sphere of just, anime fans that
We need to start treating normies like they have a problem for watching anime. Like some fucking Marvel guy who likes Iron Man comes up to you and he's like, hey, have you seen Solo Leveling? It's pretty cool. Like he's really strong. And then you're just looking at it like, oh my god, you watch anime? That is so fucking cringe. And then you have to like cross your arms so they can't see your anime girl t-shirt. You're like, that is so cringe, dude. Why would you watch that? Didn't you know that only creeps and weirdos watch that? Like that's so, ew, stop. Go watch Marvel.
watch a lot of anime that come out is very flashy action anime. That's why I think Solo Leveling did exceedingly well overseas. I'm not sure how popular it got here in Japan. The effect that Solo Leveling had in Japan is
Is
not
it less
comparable
popular
to
in
the
Japan
effect
by
that
a
Solo
lot?
Leveling had to an international audience. And I think what the Crunchyroll Anime Awards represents is your general anime watcher. And your general anime watcher is a different kind
Is a
of
normie.
community than I think the community existed 10 years ago. It is kind of grown past the anime community.
We are
that
so
we recognize,
fucking
the
cooked,
anime
bro.
fans that I'm sure are in chat right now. And a show with a little bit more of a niche appeal is never going to hit a general audience as much as something like Solo Leveling. As popular as free rent
I need to just bite the bullet and start watching anime en masse again. Like I just need to go back. I remember how good life was when I would just watch anime all day and eat nothing but fucking ramen. Like I remember this. It felt so good. Why can't I just need to go back. I need to go back. I need the fucking detox from like all of my other hobbies and just watch nothing but anime. Magic Ball, thank you for the sub. Welcome.
did get for people who are very, very well versed in anime, it still does not compare to a general audience. I have talked to so many people that
Especially
have
because
watched Solo
animation has
Leveling
evolved and
have
changed
watched
so
Jujutsu
much
Kaisen
lately.
and I've watched these action anime, and just know no other anime but that genre. And so I just think, instead of being angry,
You traded the anime for hentai? You're laughing. You're laughing at your own joke. Unfortunately, I do think I've seen more hentai than regular anime lately because I masturbate more than I watch anime.
This award is just the representation of just the general anime audience. And it is just a different audience. Remember when we were all salty when Yuri on Ice won every single award in the first year of the Anime Awards? I do not think that we would be able to see something like that again. That represents a time where one show got exceedingly popular. That wasn't just a flashy.
I think Yuri on Ice is quite possibly one of the most overrated anime of all times, and I say that as a person who is the target audience of the anime.
Action show. I don't know when the next time is going to happen when a flashy action show doesn't dominate these awards. Would love to be proved wrong in the future, and I hope I am.
Who's into yaoi.
Left. I just want to focus my energy on
I'm the target
shouting out that
why did I
at
say
least
target
these shows
incest?
got nominated.
Target
There
audience.
have been some years where some fantastic fucking shows have aired.
It's
that won
incredibly
action
mid.
shows that didn't get nominated. If there was a W in my mind for this year, it was the fact
Target
that
incest
we
is
got
crazy.
such a wide range of nominations for Anime of the Year this year. And I'm sincerely hoping that
He's trying to
Orb
look on the
is
bright side,
at
man.
least
He's trying to
going
look on the
be
bright
nominated next year
side.
for something. That is my review of the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. It was a very, very fun award show, and I had a very, very fun time there. What did you guys think of
He had
the
so much
awards
fun
this
crashing
year?
out
Do you
over
have a
solo
more positive
leveling?
outlook than myself? Well, let me know in the comment section. Hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, I also stream on Twitch sometimes.
Shadi, the next time I turn a video into YouTube, I'll make sure that you all say hi YouTube and bye YouTube. And if you don't say hi YouTube and bye YouTube, it means you don't love me and you hate me and you want me to fail and you hate me and you don't love me. You don't love me and you hate me and you don't love me. And that means you hate me and you don't love me and you don't want me. So you better make sure that whatever I prompt you to do it, you fucking do it, even if it's not going to be a YouTube video. I say the word, you do it. Okay, first of all, I don't know what the hell this shit is, but it was put on my Reddit. What the fuck? You, Chatty, look for a place to hide? Or do you, Chatty, face the challenge?
Maybe more powerful than even you are, Hulk Hogan!
God damn, he actually insane. Wow. Hulk Hogan? Hulk Hogan. Crazy.
This wrestler
Okay.
is called The Ultimate Warrior. The dude straight up got his own comic book about how insane his lore was. All
That's so
about the way
based.
and path of the Ultimate Warrior and lots of him hitting on blonde gym babes.
Oh, that's so fucking based, actually. Actually based. Okay, so we're watching, apparently the Nintendo Switch 2 came out. So, we can find out the drama. Because apparently, there's drama.
Things in this world that never work under any circumstances. The McDonald's ice cream machines and gaming boycotts. Gamers have an insatiable appetite to consume. To reject that
It's true.
urge goes against their very nature. Anytime something
Not only that, but like they'll buy games and not even play them. Like they'll go ahead, they'll buy it. They won't put it in a wish list. No. It's not sitting in their wish list. Trust. They already bought it. They just haven't played it.
shiny comes out, you can bet your sweet bippy it will be purchased and played, no matter how vocal
I wouldn't
people
add
are
played,
about
Charlie. I wouldn't add
abstaining
played.
from it and not buying it. Like, the most notable being Modern Warfare 2. There was a big hoopla and a huge movement about boycotting Modern Warfare 2. And then if you went into, like, the Steam group from the big boycott organization, almost every single person in there was currently online on launch day playing the game. And that's just kind of been the song and dance
The
for
hypocrisy.
gaming boycotts forever, really. Interrupting this broadcast real quick to give you an announcement that Starforge is doing an absolutely massive sale right now. So if you're looking to upgrade your PC,
Guys,
now's
did
the-
you know that
No,
there's a sale?
That has happened. It's just not common.
the
And
Lucy
right now,
Pyre Cup!
there was a huge push against the Nintendo Switch 2 for a lot of bad business practices. And
Pat,
people were
welcome,
talking about
hi.
how they're definitely not buying it this time around. They don't want to support it. And I'm sure you can already guess chapter 2 of this story here, the climax. The Nintendo Switch 2 releases, And that shit has been gobbled up like a bowl of cereal by a ton of people that were very outspoken
No shit.
against the Switch 2. And
I've seen
talking
it
about,
too.
like,
I've
they
seen
won't
it
be
too.
purchasing it, which was all very easy to say before it was available. But now that it's here, they have jumped on that.
I will say, I can understand buying it if you're like a content creator, but you can't say that you're not going to buy it and then buy it. Like, you can say, I think it's fucked up and shitty, and the only reason I'm buying it is because it's my job to make content of newest games, and I technically need it for my job. You can say that. You can say that. But saying I won't buy it and then buying it is fucking crazy, and it just makes you look like you're an addict with no impulse control.
Opportunity to own one enthusiastically and are playing it furiously and enjoying it too. I didn't expect the Switch 2 to
Did they
flop.
pay for the
It was very
$10 intro
predictable
game?
that everyone that was rallying against it was going to inevitably purchase it because this is like clockwork. It happens all the time.
Yeah, I also think that if you want to like have the best chances of getting a device that can be modded, you want to buy the first launch, which by the way, apparently it's already been hacked, which is another video I want to watch.
Gaming. It was always going to be a super success, and I talked about
Guys,
that
it'll never
numerous
get
times over my
hacked.
coverage of
Guys, it'll
Nintendo
never
and
get hacked.
everything
It'll
that's
take
been going
years
on
if it
there
even happens
recently.
at all.
So I'm
It'll
not
take forever,
surprised.
guys.
I'm not angry or anything either. I just find it very silly, and unfortunately, it's putting me in a pickle where a lot of people think I'm going to cave and buy a Switch 2 any day now, because I'm sure a lot of you know I'm not the biggest Nintendo enthusiast in recent years with a lot of their behavior against
How
the
could you
community
not
that
be?
loves their
Nintendo
games,
is so
as well
great.
as their litigious nature of going after things that they believe is some kind of threat, like Pow World, and really overreaching there, mind you. And their pricing, I think, being abominable and a huge blemish to
pretty
this
bad.
whole industry, trying to normalize the $80 first-party titles,
And
paid
people are eating it
services
up,
for things
sad.
that are currently free, like the Discord equivalent in the Switch 2, which is just a much worse version.
I will also never understand the people who see a content creator like say, I don't want to buy a Nintendo Switch and I don't want to buy their games because I don't like what they're doing in the industry. I don't like the prices that they're normalizing. People who respond to that by saying, aren't you rich? Aren't you rich? It's your job. You can afford it. You have the money. Haha, why are you complaining? It's your job. You can afford it. You're rich. It's not about whether one individual person can fucking afford it. You can have principles regardless of how much money you have. You saying shit like that just reveals how you fucking see other people. You don't give a fuck if other people suffer and are priced out of their own hobby. All you give a shit about is fucking saying, oh, there's enough money, there's nothing wrong with it. I love Nintendo. Please, Nintendo, let me suck your dick. That's what you fucking sound like.
Just using Discord. I could go on and on. I've already told you these things. I don't need to just regurgitate them, fucking, baby bird them into your mouth again. Point is, I've made it very clear that I had no plans of getting the Nintendo Switch 2. At the time, I had absolutely
haven't
no
gotten
desire
one.
to get the Nintendo Switch 2.
They don't have anything
And
released that I
still
need
don't.
anyway.
I still didn't buy a Nintendo Switch 2, and I don't even have, like, the slightest semblance, like, not even, like, the one molecule in my being is tempted to buy the Switch 2. And that's not even because I'm someone that, like, calls for a boycott of Nintendo or anything. I really don't care. There's a lot of people that bought it, they're really enjoying it, and a lot of people are reporting that it's a great console, and I'm very happy that they're having fun with it.
Many people
At
are
the end of the day,
saying
that's
this.
the most important part. So
I've
it
heard
doesn't
some bad
bother me
things about it
whatsoever.
too, though.
I've never once tried to, shout out a rallying cry to stand up to Nintendo. If you want to buy it and you're having fun with it, all power to you. I'm just not in that camp. I've never tried to be a boycott Barry here, trying to get people to not buy the Switch 2. All I've been doing is just talking about things that I personally don't agree with.
Even if you were, when it succeeds because it's Nintendo, and of course well, we don't really know the numbers though. We don't really know the numbers. We don't know how successful it is, and we won't know for a while, because we don't have the fucking numbers. Yeah, there are a lot of people talking about it. That's because it just came out. It's a new fucking console. But we don't know how successful it's been right now. But regardless of how successful it is or not, if one Nintendo Andy sees a single purchase of the Nintendo Switch 2, they will point to that and say, look guys, people are buying it anyway! Look, this one guy from Ohio bought a fucking Switch 2! Haha! Stupid ass boycott, not even working! People are buying the fucking console!
The way Nintendo's been doing things over the last couple of years. But if people want to get it, I think that's great. And have fun doing that. I've seen some really cool videos too from like the midnight launches. It felt very nostalgic because I remember being a kid going to like midnight launches for Gears of War 2, for example. And the clips I've seen really do remind me of that. That's a very fun
Do you guys remember lining up at GameStop to get the new Pokemon game at release? Also, oh no HP, thanks for the sub, welcome, hi.
Thing to see happen again. Like Dashi and Corey Kenshin were apparently at one of the midnight launches.
I remember
and they
doing
were
that
dancing
for
and having fun,
Pokemon
and
Black
everyone
and
was having
White.
a great time for the Switch 2 launch. I'm not trying to drop trousers and plant my ass on the fun here.
You
I
can
am
die
not the
happy,
fun
not
police
before you
trying to
buy my
sound the
Lucy
alarm.
Pyre cup with code
I
Lucy 10%
encourage
off.
it, and I'm glad so many people
Got
are
'em.
enjoying it. I'm just not someone that is getting the Switch 2 for a variety of different reasons. Now, even if it wasn't like Nintendo's business practices that I had such an issue with, the launch catalog also just isn't really
It's
super
bad, it's not
appealing
really
to me,
good.
personally. Looking
There's
at the
nothing
Switch
in there
2's
that I
drop
want to play.
just isn't exciting. It's mainly games I've already played before. In fact, it is almost
If it's a game that I want to play, it's also available on PC, so it's like I don't need it.
exclusively games I've played before, except for the new Mario Kart game. So, like, I don't really need to just pay full price for games I've already experienced just
Do
to
you like
experience them again
Pokemon?
on
Not the
Switch
new
2.
games.
That doesn't.
That's not gonna
make
be what motivates me to
you
buy a
know,
fucking Switch 2.
salivate and want to sink my teeth into it, and I'm not so excited about the new Mario Kart that I need to go out there right now and buy the system to experience it. But that's just me and my size small underpants here. Like, that's not going to be a one-size-fits-all for everyone else. Maybe there are people out there that didn't play these games and want to experience them on the Switch too. They want to have the handheld capabilities. That's totally fine. And you bought the system so that way you can play them for the first time, or you're a huge Mario Kart fan and this was a system seller for you.
Imagine
Again,
being a huge Mario
all power
Kart
to
fan.
you.
Haven't the games
It's
been
just,
the
for me
same fucking
personally,
game over and
I won't
over
be
again
getting
for a
it.
while?
Because of so many people that were outspoken now buying the Switch 2, I'm
So, you don't care about exclusive Pokemon that can only be found in one region. You realize those Pokemon that are going to be the new Pokemon game are going to be in Pokemon Go. No, I don't care about the new soulless fucking slop Pokemon designs that they're coming up with in a desperate attempt to appeal to Generation Alpha and Beta. I don't give a fuck about Pokemon Go.
getting lumped into that group for some reason about like any day now Charles is going to buy it because he was trying so hard to push against Nintendo and try and get everyone else to do that with him. I wasn't. Yes, I was pushing hard against Nintendo because it's a company that produces games that
They deserve
are really
it!
near
Why
and
do we
dear
have
my
to
boners.
defend
I fucking
ourselves on that
love
shit?
so many Nintendo games. Like if you watch the video I just made on my top 50
It's a different story if you're singling out a specific person who works at Nintendo and you're like, oh, they suck. If you're talking about the actions of the fucking company, why do you even have to defend doing that?
a good chunk of those are Nintendo property. They make bangers, games that absolutely slap. But the company itself, I think, is outright.
I don't know,
like,
man. Do they make
brutal.
bangers?
Like they are absolutely.
What's their
brutal.
last banger? Breath of the
And I
Wild?
just wish that wasn't the case, and it makes me upset. And I don't have any desire to support that. But again, that's
And
just
that started
me.
on the
I'm
Wii
not
U.
trying to get other people to do that as well. Again, the most important thing is that you're having fun, and if this is something you really want to get and you're enjoying it, that's great. I'm having fun not getting it. So, I'm not your enemy, Nintendo Switch 2 fans. And I certainly don't think
The enemy of Nintendo Switch 2 fans is Nintendo themselves, bro.
any less of anyone that did get a Switch 2. It's really not that deep.
Make sure you don't accidentally come on the screen because they might register that as a modding attempt and brick your device.
I'm not fighting a war here. It's just one personal Neanderthal's decision to not buy the Switch 2 for a variety of different reasons that maybe don't matter to you at all. They just matter to me. That's it. So I'm not getting the Switch 2. I have no plans on it anytime soon. Will I consider it in the future? Maybe. You know, if Nintendo starts to work more with the community as opposed to against them, sure, I could definitely see myself getting a Switch 2 down the line to try and encourage that direction as opposed to the direction they've been going down for the last
Do you
few
really
years.
believe it, though?
Absolutely.
Do you really believe it,
It's not
though?
like
Do
I
you
have
think that's
some
going to happen? Do you think that's what's going to happen?
Irrational, blind hatred of Nintendo as a company and will refuse to
PS5
support
is also
them
disappointment.
forever.
Probably my dumbest
Not at
purchase
all.
ever. Not going to
I
lie.
would much rather be talking about Nintendo W's as opposed to L's. I would like to see them be more community focused and more enthusiastic about like gaming in general as opposed to trying to figure out ways of nickel and diming more and more, like getting more
Hydration?
juice for
Oh
the
my
squeeze
God,
out
let's
of consumers'
go.
wallets for their products. That's all. That's literally it. So if we can get to a point where Nintendo starts going more in that direction, I'll be just as
have
happy
no
as
hope.
anyone. You'll see me dancing about Nintendo Switch 2 and all that if we
I have
can
no
get
hope.
to that point. But right now, we're not there. Maybe
None. I hate how people complain about how expensive the Switch 2 and the games are, but then they buy it anyways. Like, what? It is pretty crazy, isn't it? Frickin' Baka, thank you for the 35 months. I appreciate it. Blah, blah.
Lucy P. Blank.
Gaming
Lucy P.
boycotts
Heart,
are as
Lucy P.
effective
Heart,
as
Lucy
Reddit
P.
boycotts? What the
Lucy
fuck
P.
is a
Heart, Lucy P.
Reddit
Kissy,
boycott?
Lucy P. Headpats.
Chatty kissy, chatty kissy, chatty kissy. How brave of Muta to leave the comments open. You can't spend weeks being an auntie and then immediately become a shill. It's kind of like a branding issue, you know? Anyway, so guess what, guys? The Switch 2 got hacked
If you've
already.
never seen this show before, I don't know what to tell you. So I'll just start doing the tech news. The Nintendo Switch 2 has been out for only 1 day, and an exploit has already been discovered that allows a knowledgeable user to display custom graphics on the screen. And sure, the custom graphics demoed here by Blue Sky user David Buchanan is like a tiny line floating in front of some grayscale
okay,
pixels.
start.
But the
We're
important
starting.
thing
We're
is
getting
Nintendo's
started.
probably pissed about this. Those are not official pixels. As far as console
Those
exploits
pixels are
go,
not
this one's pretty
official.
shallow. And the consensus among Switch hackers right now amounts to everyone please sit down.
Immediately
This is gonna
break his
take a
device
while.
right now.
Particularly as
Nintendo
Nintendo is
ninjas.
not effing around this time, reserving the right to brick tampered consoles. The good news is
Which is
you
crazy,
don't
by the
need
way.
to hack the Switch 2 to use almost anything as a webcam, including smartphones. The bad news is iFixit did a Switch 2 teardown, and they think the new joysticks look like they might still be vulnerable to stick drift. Why don't they use Hall effect sensors? I don't know. They also found the new
I'm saying it now. I'm saying it now. I'm fucking saying it now. If people start reporting that their Nintendo Switch 2 has fucking Joy-Con drift again, I'm not buying it.
Switch
I
harder
don't
to
care.
repair than the original, giving it a repairability score
Ever.
of 3 out of 10. They were so mad about it. iFixit went
3
back
out
and
of 10.
downgraded their
Hail
score
Inc,
of the
thanks for the
original
sub,
Switch from
welcome.
an 8 out of
Hey.
10 to a 4. Yeah, that'll piss Nintendo off, which again is the goal. If you want a Switch 2, while online stock goes real fast, it seems like retailers are getting regular restocks in store. I mean, look at this, scalpers selling
the
a Switch
fuck?
2 for very close to MSRP.
That's so
Nature is
stupid.
healing. Just be aware that your game chats are probably being recorded. But at least it's recording and
horrible!
transcribing even the bad words too. So you can say Mario has a poopy
Nintendo HQ just being filled with audio of 55-year-old men trying to groom children on online Mario Kart. Like, what the fuck? What?
butt and Goombas, and Nintendo has to put that on the screen, else be so embarrassed. YouTube has informed users with a premium light subscription that in addition
Horrible,
to seeing
horrible,
ads
horrible,
on music
awful.
content, they're gonna
The
see
worst.
ads
I
on
said this
shorts
earlier.
now too, because while these users have been paying $8 a month, advertising
Would you guys like it if I added ads to your fucking 13-second videos
pay
on
a lot
Shorts?
more
Awesome.
than $8
Great,
a month,
perfect.
and that makes it hard to not show your cute face more ads, you know? The change was
Oh my
first
God, they think I'm
spotted in an
cute?
email received by a member of the Twit forum, corroborated by German site Deskmodder, and ads on Shorts are now mentioned on the official YouTube Premium Plans page and in a Google support article. So it seems like Premium Lite subscribers who watch YouTube Shorts are just gonna have to deal with ads while they swipe through Family Guy clips. Parts of the tech industry are reeling from the collapse of Elon Musk's bromance with Donald.
Don't they realize now that the only people who should be allowed to shill things and sell things to you and force ads in your face is Lucy Pyre with her Gamersubs cup code Lucy? It's ridiculous the amount of ads they try to shove in their face, man.
Trump. In a June 3rd tweet, Elon called the congressional spending bill, known as the Big Beautiful Bill, an abomination because of how pork-filled it was, and I didn't expect him to follow kosher rules for multiple reasons. Also, I thought that was just like its nickname, but no, it's literally called the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, and how could you not vote
What
for
the
that?
fuck is this?
Trump responded on his own idea, check out-
Wait, what happened? Oh! Okay, so this is not a video just about the Switch hack. This is varied. The Big Beautiful Chatty Act. It's when I sit Chatty down and I say that I'm stupid because I didn't realize that that's how the video is structured. Wait, this is just like my VODs when I have like a thumbnail for one react, but then there's multiple reacts after it. But at least the react, at least I put timestamps and then I usually put the react that I'm doing first at the front so that you get what you want immediately. And then I say and others in the title. Am I a hypocrite? Lucy's becoming a political VTuber. Not my intention! Not my intention! I am going to become a fentanyl VTuber, though. It's not my fault. Somebody put this on my Reddit. No, I did not randomly click this and say, wow, I want to learn about fentanyl. No, somebody put this fucking Fent video. Somebody put the Fent vid in my Reddit. So I have no choice but to watch it and react to it, Shaddy.
Fentanyl must be amazing. Loads of people give up on everything that makes life good for it. Their loved ones, any other possessions or pursuits, homes, their dignity, and even their lives. But actually, fentanyl is garbage heroin, inferior in every single way but one.
Garbage heroin?
It's the perfect drug for dealers. And while we hear a lot about how deadly fentanyl is, many people it kills are not even fentanyl addicts. It's truly the dumbest drug to ruin your life for.
But that's so weird. Why would drug dealers want to give people fentanyl if it kills people so often? That gets rid of their customer base.
Let's learn what fentanyl does to you, what it feels like, and why it's so much lamer than heroin. Pain and pleasure. Maybe the two most important forces that guide our survival are pain and pleasure. Pain may be the most visceral physical experience. A claw ripping your flesh, a bone cracking, rejection eating your soul.
You ever just think about how painful it is to like stub your toe and then remember that you just had ancestors who were out there in the fucking wilderness just like regularly getting bitten by monsters and shit?
Pain can be scary and unbearable. It's the strongest signal our bodies have to make us avoid harm. Pleasure is what makes life good because it feels
Why is he on
amazing.
Fucking boiling
Eating
lava?
Things that are sweet or high fat, having sex, or opening another booster pack with your friends. Anything that makes you feel pleasure makes you want to do it again. These two opposing forces guide you through life. Pain shouts, "Stop, this is bad." Pleasure cheers, "More, do that again." But while they
My toxic trait is thinking that I wouldn't get addicted to drugs while I play gacha games. Somebody, thank you so much for 300 biddies. So what I'm hearing is I should do heroin? Yeah. I'm sure that's going to be the moral of the video, but let's give it a second to cook, okay?
They are opposites, they're also linked. Sometimes our body needs to end pain and create pleasure at the same time.
I agree.
After giving birth, pain gets toned down and the mother is showered in happy hormones so she can bond with the newborn child.
Isn't that nice of the body?
The hunter
extract legally owned ROMs/updates and DLC on emulators. Saves a ton of cable management effort. Not sure if emulating is okay for Twitch.
It's not okay, so you just don't say that you're doing it.
Gets the physical exhaustion and minor injuries. Both are technically not great
How would they know?
experiences, but need to be repeated for our survival. And nature invented a powerful mechanism to achieve this. The mighty opioid receptor. It's like a keyhole on the neurons that control pain and pleasure. If activated, it reduces pain and how much you care about pain, and it creates pleasure and good feelings.
Wow, this sounds
The details
great!
are complex and not relevant for this story.
I'm learning about the mere
What you need
concept
to
of
know
drugs right
is
now.
that any molecule that can fit into an opioid receptor like a key is
Oh,
called
perfect
an
fit,
opioid.
perfect fit.
Opioids are extremely powerful, so when your body uses natural opioids like endorphins when you laugh, it releases only a tiny amount.
Shadi, this is so fucked up. I can't believe Lucy Pyre is addicted to opiates. Look at her, she's laughing.
Exactly where they're needed. So the effects are mild and localized. Your sprained ankle feels better, a painful memory subsides, you get a boost of happiness meeting an old friend. And now we're getting to drugs. Humans found
No, don't
opioids
touch
in
it like
nature
that.
like morphine and were quite taken by them. They got refined into a whole family of drugs used in hospitals and to relieve patients that are in immense pain. Codeine, OxyContin, Vicodin, and of course,
I've heard of all of
heroin,
these things.
and the worst of all, fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
Before
The
we can explain
poison.
why fentanyl is the most garbage drug, we need to do something fun.
Oh shit, they're shooting
Let's
up!
inject some heroin together.
What?
Ready?
Why are we doing heroin?
The supernova of pleasure.
I hold a gun to your head. You will do
Heroin
this
rushes
crime with
through your
me.
entire body and flips every opioid receptor it finds.
That's
a rapid
crazy.
cascade of things happens everywhere all at once. A symphony of intense sensations.
Look what
Every
Lucy
cell
taught
regulating
me.
pleasure
Stop!
is now high. Without their control, floodgates of happy hormones open and fill you up top to bottom with pure bliss. A cup of coffee, a nectar of joy. This song you like, a celestial symphony. A cuddle,
How does
pure
this work?
love from the center.
My other toxic trait is hearing people talk about drug addiction and how good certain drugs make them feel, and I'm just like, this can't be true because I've never felt that way ever. That's not a real emotion that you can possibly have. Loba V2, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome.
Center of the universe. Wherever you
Me
felt
just
pain
assuming everyone's
before,
lying 'cause
from
it sounds
wounds or
unrealistic.
aching
It
joints
sounds-
or menstrual cramps.
I'm sorry. It sounds like what people describe heaven to me. They're like, everything is so good. Like, imagine the best orgasm you ever had, and then like double it by 100, and then you're not even close. Like, you gotta be shitting me. There's no way it's that fucking good.
Loneliness
That's my
or
toxic trait.
self-loathing, it's gone now. You are simply unable to feel pain or care about it anymore. Like dimming the
Wait, it's like a
lights in a cozy
superpower.
room, your brain's alert system is put to sleep and you feel at ease, warm and serene. Any stress melts away and dissolves into a dreamlike haze. You're no longer worried or tense about anything. This peace even spreads to your
This
essential
video is
organs,
promoting heroin.
slowing
This video is informing you about
your
heroin.
breath, soothing and slowing your intestines.
Nice piece of
Your
shit in there.
chest rises
Why would
and
you
falls
add
like
that?
the gentle waves of a quiet shore. You're sailing a sea of calm and happiness that feels perfect and eternal. The full load of a strong opioid like heroin for the very first time is one of the most amazing feelings humans can experience. For a few
Why
hours,
is he
you're
selling
in
us
heaven.
heroin?
And this is exactly
Bro, why is he selling us heroin right now?
the
This is
problem.
crazy.
Your brain is not equipped to handle anything like it.
Code Lucy to get 10% off of your heroin
You
today.
feel
Fuck,
too
man,
good.
what the hell?
But nothing lasts forever, and now you're in trouble. You
Oh,
just
no.
experienced the best feeling you ever felt. Your brain's reward center is completely fried and can't
No.
comprehend what happened. If what you did
No.
felt this good, it has to be amazing for your survival, and you should do it again. Except you can never ever feel this good again. This will be your peak life moment forever. You may forever chase this feeling you had this very first time. And now you're back in the
How it
regular
feels to
world
watch a Lucy
with
stream.
your
No, is
insecurities,
that how you feel
where your
when I'm
knee
done?
hurts, regular tasting coffee, and having to work hard for happy hormones.
Ew. My
Comparison
coffee tastes
is
so
the
bad
thief of
now.
joy,
I should buy
and now
gamer
you
subs
have
instead.
your life to compare to a supernova of bliss. The indescribable feeling comes with a damage to your sense of life and self that may be irreparable. And this is not even the worst. Opioids are incredibly addictive, and the addiction among the worst you can have.
True.
The supernova of pain. Once you've taken opioids a few times, your brain has had enough. The cells controlling pain and pleasure are constantly high and
That
drowsy,
sounds like a nightmare.
so it boosts them and makes them hyperactive. This happens
That sounds miserable to like take heroin and have like such a great emotion and feeling, and then to know that you'll never feel that way again unless you keep doing the drug. And even then, even if you are continuing to do the drug, it doesn't mean that you will get that same high again. It just means that you won't go through withdrawals.
very fast, sometimes after a few days
That
of
sounds
use.
like hell. Why
You've
even
developed
try
an
it?
opioid tolerance, toning down all the nice effects you're doing the drugs to achieve. To feel like before, you'll need way higher doses. Now, you're at a crossroads. Quit and have your system go back to normal fairly quickly, or keep going and take more. You take the wrong turn. Over the
wrong
next few
turn.
weeks, your brain keeps pushing
No!
back and you keep taking more. The effects
No!
are not quite what they were, but still mildly nice. Until one day, you can't get
can't
opioids
believe this is what
and
I was doing
realize
in
your
Schedule
body
1.
is now your enemy. Your systems are so hyperactive that they make you feel the opposite of what the drug was doing.
No.
Welcome to withdrawal. It all starts with a creeping unease. Instead of being euphoric and happy, nothing feels good anymore.
Wait, I
Your
feel this
coffee
way
is
without ever
tasteless,
being
your
doing
favorite
drugs.
song lame, your loved ones distant. A storm of negative emotions shatters your sea of calm. Serenity is replaced by anxiety and angst,
I
like
did
something
heroin?
terrible is imminent. Your worries, insecurities, and all the fears you suppressed aren't just back, but amplified into an existential crisis. You're so restless you can't sit still. Your heart is beating too fast. You shiver, sweat,
Wait, this is literally me.
hyperventilate.
Not the sweating though.
Your pain circuits are now oversensitive, so your bones and muscles ache and hurt for no reason. Old wounds, physical and mental, torture you. You have belly cramps and diarrhea and have to vomit. You're too agitated.
This reminds me of the thing that I read on Reddit, which, yeah, oh, Lucy, disgusting Reddit, shut up. Anyway, I read this person who was addicted to heroin on Reddit, and how what they did to fund their habit was they would just wait tables. So they would work all day, basically like do doubles, and then in the afternoon, when they would go on lunch, they would like pay their dealer for a hit of heroin, not to get high, but just so that they wouldn't withdraw, basically. And then they would continue working for the rest of the day and then rinse and repeat, like, over and over again. For like, months. Just working so you can afford the heroin so that you don't go into withdrawal. That's crazy.
A war inside your body that you can't escape. And of course, there's the craving, screaming for you to make it stop. Your mind and body beg for a hit. You can be in this state for up to 2 weeks, or...
Chatty, just one more Lucy Pyre stream. Just one more Lucy Pyre stream.
Make it stop right away. Okay, so why not just take heroin forever and feel amazing always?
It's too expensive!
The fun thing is that it doesn't work this way. You get tolerant to the nice effects like euphoria faster than to the bad ones like dangerously slow breathing.
Damn.
So it turns from touching the love center of the universe to mostly drowsy numbness and relief from withdrawal.
I feel like this isn't just like the effect of heroin and how quickly you get used to it, but rather how quickly you get used to like a new way of life, like how you get used to a certain standard of living. You might live a very privileged life, but if that's how you're used to living, it won't feel privileged to you anymore. It's not just heroin, it's just like psychology in general.
Now you don't take opiates to get to heaven, but to avoid hell. You're in a prison of your mind and body, unable to connect with all the things that could actually make you feel
not
good.
Even Fent at this point.
Opioid addiction is brutal and extremely hard to escape. It should be pretty clear that you need to be extremely careful with any opioids, and if you have the chance to do it for fun, just don't. There's a very real risk that your life might just be over, and that you'll go through hell. Now that we've seen the heaven and hell of heroin, we can get to fentanyl, the garbage drug. Fentanyl is really garbage heroin. Everything we just described is true in different intensities for most opioids. They can be great, all of them can be hell. Heroin is just sort of the strongest, except it isn't. Fentanyl is around 50 times more potent than heroin, but that doesn't mean 50 times more amazing. Quite the opposite. Fentanyl is extremely good at crossing the blood-brain barrier, the firewall that protects your brain from harmful substances. It enters your brain so easily that you get from 0 to extremely high almost instantly. But just as fast as it enters, it leaves again.
Good job, Satan
A
Spawn,
heroin
proud of
high
you.
can last 6 hours. One from fentanyl can fade in minutes. Fentanyl doesn't feel as good as heroin. Instead of a supernova of bliss, you mostly get the black hole of nodding away. But it comes with all the withdrawal symptoms. As a bonus, because fentanyl acts so quickly on your brain, it fries your reward center even more, making it even more addictive than heroin. And since you only need so little of it, it's super easy to overdose and die by accident. It's the deadliest illegal drug in US history by far. Between 2013 and 2023, it killed about 400.
Damn, imagine being meth and you're like, I'm clouded up. I kill lots of people. I kill people every day. And then fentanyl comes in and it's like, hi, I'm the new kid. And then they're instantly like more popular than you. That's crazy.
100,000 Americans. Fentanyl really is garbage heroin. Too dangerous, too intense, too addictive, too little fun. But then why are so many people taking it? Well,
because
actually,
it's being
nobody
laced,
wants
right?
to. Fentanyl is not for users, it's for dealers.
Assholes.
The house always wins. Fentanyl is a drug dealer's dream. One truckload could supply the entire US for 1 year.
What?
It's cheap to make and easy to smuggle. Heroin needs plants and fields and way more space. So garbage fentanyl just took over the heroin supply. It might have seemed great for heroin addicts at first, and then its trap snapped close. While some people may seek out fentanyl specifically, several studies have found that most opioid users try to avoid it. Even worse, a lot of people who die from fentanyl don't take it willingly. Dealers want people to come back for their product, and by adding a tiny trace of fentanyl to any drug, they can make it more addictive. Even if people don't realize they took an opioid, they'll feel its effects. So dealers started to mix all kinds of drugs with fentanyl, turning the
It's the
entire
evil
US
dealer
drug market
animation for
into
me.
a minefield where any trip can be your last. Because way too often, they put a bit too much in their mixes. In 2022, the combination with pills, often counterfeit oxycodone,
Okay, so it's not that they're intentionally trying to kill people by putting in too much fentanyl. It's that they're stupid. They don't know the right dose to like get them addicted but not kill them. And then they fucking kill them.
and
So that's what happens?
benzodiazepines accounted for about 20% of all
Now I
fentanyl
understand
deaths.
it.
In 2023, the US authorities seized 115 million pills with fentanyl. 70% contained a lethal
115
dose.
million.
About half of fentanyl overdoses came where you
70%?
expected the least, from stimulants like cocaine and meth. A lot of people may have taken these mixes on purpose, but many others just wanted to party and weren't ready for an opioid surprise. This is especially dangerous because if you've never tried opioids, you can overdose very easily. Fentanyl really has no
I really feel like being a drug dealer is one of the craziest, worst things you could do. And I'm not talking about people who like sell weed, although honestly, I feel like certain types of weed are probably also problematic just a little bit. But holy fuck, like knowingly lacing people with fentanyl just to get them addicted is crazy.
upsides outside medical use. For dealers and cartels, it means easy profit. For users, it means a
But
worse
then again, Chatty, Big Pharma is just legal drug dealing, which explains why they're evil.
opioid addiction and a worse life. For people who would never ever try it, it can be a death sentence they didn't see coming. No matter how alluring they are,
Hydration.
using opioids, even in safe settings, is playing with fire on the best of days. Fentanyl is a garbage drug that turns this fire into a raging furnace, increasing the
There's gotta be a better way to do, like, pain reduction, right?
risk of death massively. There's really only one conclusion to draw here. If you have the choice, don't step into the supernova of pleasure, because the
supernova of
danger of
pleasure.
it turning into a supernova of pain is just too high. Getting to the root of an issue requires looking at all sides and thinking critically about the information we consume. In today's world, this can be difficult. This is why ground news is such an important tool today.
It's important. It's an ad. It's an ad, Chatty. Now I understand the fentanyl crisis. Now I get it. I understand now. Chatty taught me. So that's why you put it in here. So that's why you did it. Now I have to watch this one. I'm sorry.
Vaping is kind of amazing.
Fuck.
Cannabis
this guy just
has
make
been
videos
vilified
about
to a
fucking
ridiculous
drugs?
degree for the last century, but it's now
Now I'm
finally
learning about
being
Schedule 1.
decriminalized in more and more places around the world.
Drug content
it's just
today.
recently been legalized in Germany, and for very
Olivia
good reasons.
Coke,
Compared
welcome,
to
hi.
legal drugs like alcohol, which will cause 1 in 20 deaths just this year, cannabis is pretty mild. So
1 in
to
20?
justify harsh prosecution and punishment,
Oh, okay. I thought it said like 20 deaths a year, and I was like, it's gotta be way more than that. 1 in 20 alcoholics? Is that? Oh, no, okay. 1 in 20 of all deaths are alcohol related. I finally understood that stat. That took me a
its
second.
negative effects have been wildly overstated. Naturally, there was a lot of pushback, and here's something went wrong. If you followed the discourse
5%,
over the
that's
last
pretty
few
crazy.
years, you might have got the impression that weed has almost only upsides
Do a shake? Shut
and
up,
few,
pervert.
if any,
Wait for it like
negative
everybody
side
else.
effects. We ourselves contributed to that narrative. What made this worse is that criminalization made it very hard for scientists to study cannabis, especially its long-term effects. They faced bureaucratic and legal
Long-term
hurdles,
effects.
and studies often had to rely on small sample sizes.
No
In the last
shit!
few years, this
Hi guys, we're looking for people who smoke weed so we can figure out the effects of weed. Okay, Fed! Okay, Fed, yeah, sure, let me sign up for your fucking survey, you fucking Fed!
finally started to change, so it's time to bring new evidence to the discussion. And, well, it's not pretty. While weed is still much less harmful than alcohol, it does have a dark side. It
Real.
is more addictive than we thought and can have significant negative effects if you use it long term.
I feel like it should be obvious that it's addictive. If it's possible to sell you, like, merchandise that you use to brag about the fact that you do a certain thing, then of course it's addictive.
It seems that... what are you doing? Before you tell us how dumb we are, please watch the video. To be crystal clear,
Okay,
we think
okay.
prohibition
Guys, we're watching the
doesn't
video.
work and cannabis should be legal.
I
But
agree.
this also means that we need to treat it as what it is, a drug, with unique upsides and downsides. So let's take an honest look at some of the latest research
We'll
together.
ignore medical uses about doing weed for fun. Okay,
Weed
this is for the
getting
fun
stronger
Andes.
and stronger. Cannabis's magic juice is
it?
tetrahydrocannabinol, THC. It docks on your cannabinoid receptors, which affects various brain functions. THC
Hydration?
activates some regions and calms down others, creating a fun cocktail of sensations. The more THC, the more intense the high.
I have never heard anyone say it was safe, just safer than alcohol and other stuff. There are genuinely 100% people who not only, this is true for not just weed, but there are people who are addicted to things and will tell you that it's completely safe and that there's no problems with it because they're in denial. There are people who say this for weed, they say it for cigarettes, they say it for vaping, they say it for basically anything that they do that they don't want to acknowledge has problems. I've definitely heard people who smoke weed say that there's no such thing as like getting addicted to it.
And people
Or
seem
safe.
to be
I have heard people say it is completely safe and impossible to die from it,
into
so.
higher highs, or at least this is what the market is providing.
In fact, I
In the
believed
US,
it because
Canada,
so many people
and in
said
Europe,
it.
the concentration of THC in legal and illegal cannabis products has more than doubled in the last few decades. While ever more potent strains are bred, products like edibles or concentrates with more than 60% THC have become increasingly common. While the share of
Not gonna lie, if I were gonna do weed, I would want to do it in like a cookie. Yeah, I'd want to do like a weed cookie because I don't really want to smoke. Like I don't want the smell.
products with less than 15% THC has declined. Unfortunately, just about every problem
Please don't.
weed
I'm
creates
not
gets
going to.
worse
I'm just
at
saying
higher
if I
THC
did.
doses. At the same time, more and more people use weed. In the US, more people consumed cannabis daily than alcohol for the first time in 2022.
What the fuck?
In Canada, 26% of people 16 and older use it, up from 22% in 2018.
That explains why it's getting legal everywhere because so many people are doing it at this point that now the government can't ignore it and they're like, we could tax this.
It's not possible to say if legalization is the reason for this, though, since studies are pretty inconsistent and vary massively between different users. In some, consumption went up. In others, it stayed stable, and the trend to use more weed began in the early 90s and sped up in the 2000s, way
Whoa,
earlier
that's
than
interesting. That's interesting. It's crazy that it lost popularity like really hard, like it fell off like crazy, and then it just started
Legalization.
picking up.
So today, more people consume more weed than ever before in the last century, and it's the strongest
Weed fell off.
it's ever
Weed
been.
fell off.
What are we seeing as a result of this? Let's start with something that used to get you laughed out of the room: addiction. Weed addiction and withdrawal symptoms. A big narrative about weed is that it's not addictive, or at least not that big of a deal. And for most people, this is true. Studies clearly show that the majority handle it well. For 8 out of 10 using weed, it's just a casual high and not problematic at all.
8 out
About
of
2 in
10.
10 users develop a cannabis use disorder,
I like
or
these little birds. They're
CUD.
cute.
CUD has 11
And they're
different
stoners.
symptoms, from the inability to stop when you've had enough, to using it when you know it will have negative consequences, to tolerance and withdrawal. They can all basically be reduced to you're doing it too often, even if it's bad for you, and it's less fun than it could be. There are 3 major risk
I used to work with some people that would show up with like really red eyes and then they would brag about it. FC none, welcome.
factors here: the amount of THC, how often you consume, and your age when you start using cannabis. The more THC, the more often, and the younger you are when you start, the higher your risk. If you smoke
How
too
many
much
of you are at
weed
risk
too
right
often,
now?
it will have negative impacts on your life. So if this is you,
It gives you
cutting it down a
tremors?
bit will make a big difference. 1 in 10 users develops a serious addiction. They usually consume daily, and their
1
life
in
is
10?
significantly impaired or held back because they spend a lot of their time either using or recovering from cannabis use. Since their brain is building a tolerance, they need increasingly high doses or stronger weed, often both.
They need my Schedule
Studies
1 shit.
found
They
a
need my
variety of
perp dick.
negative effects. Heavy users can experience bad moods, feel irritable, restless, paranoid, anxious, and even depressive. In a sad twist of irony, for many addicts it feels like they need
AGF,
weed to
welcome.
fight these symptoms. Maybe it did actually help at first, while in reality it makes those symptoms stronger and more persistent. Studies also found that loneliness
I feel like it's scary. I don't know. It just feels really scary to me. I don't know what it's like to get high on weed, but there's a lot of people who say that like they hallucinate and shit, and anything that might cause a hallucination sounds like actually really scary drug use to me.
And frequent cannabis use go hand in hand. If you feel lonely, you're more likely to use weed, and if you use weed, you may experience more
It's
loneliness.
bullshit? Is
It's
it?
not always easy to say which came first, but they seem to reinforce each other. So on the one hand, cannabis makes loneliness.
Bro, there's a fucking ice cream truck outside. Can you hear it? They're playing like a cutesy version of Dance the Night Away, Dance the Night Away. Oh man. They're like na 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 na. Go chase the ice cream truck? Maybe I will, okay? But not right now.
Feel much less bad. On the other hand, it can also make you feel more socially awkward than you actually are and withdraw from friends. This can lead to a downward spiral that ends in self-isolation and chronic loneliness. Another thing many
I get auditory hallucinations if I'm particularly zooted. Okay, so is it true that weed can cause hallucinations or is it bullshit? Because anytime you see somebody like tripping or whatever, it's always like, oh, they're hallucinating. They're like seeing unicorns in the sky and
people
shit.
who consume a lot experience is a mental numbness that makes boredom feel okay because it impacts the reward system of your brain. Not great, but good enough. You can spend your days killing time binging mildly interesting stuff. Being numb
Mildly
rather
interesting
than
stuff.
having fun.
Wait, I do this without
Boredom
weed.
is a signal to your mind to get creative or learn something new, but this is suppressed. This also makes quitting so much harder because your daily routines suddenly seem boring and unexciting, making it very tempting to go back. If you find yourself using constantly, this can also stunt your development as a person. The numbness dulls bad feelings, making it easy not to deal with them. But in life, you can only get over bad feelings if you
Wait, so
actually
weed
feel
is just
them
like
and you
90%
have to
of depression
process them
medication?
to grow. Lastly, let's talk about physical withdrawal symptoms. The more you consume, the worse they'll be for you, especially if you use daily. Withdrawal can cause headaches, sweating or chills, decreased appetite, in severe cases even fever,
Why does that look like a
nausea
bowl of
and
shit?
abdominal pain.
That does not look like
You might
ashes.
have trouble falling asleep, and if you do, you might have disturbing and vivid dreams. The withdrawal can put you in a depressive mood where life feels daft and pointless. You can feel restless, angry, anxious, or nervous. You may feel unable to do anything at all.
Chatty, how am I going through weed withdrawal having never smoked in my life?
After a few days, these symptoms will begin to subside, and after a few weeks, they'll be gone entirely. The exact time depends on how much and how long you've been consuming cannabis. Now, let's get to the worst part. Weed may damage your brain. This
Okay.
section was not fun to research because
Chatty, is
there's fierce
this a
debate
Fed
among
moment?
researchers how bad weed is for your brain and whether it has
Broken Nazi,
irreversible
welcome.
long-term consequences or not. There's no consensus yet, and it's hard to say anything
Press 1 for Fed, press 2 for real.
definitive. Having said that, THC directly interferes with critical brain chemistry. There is some evidence that it may alter
Ooh, we
its
got some
structure.
debates in here.
If it does, this may go away again if you quit after a few years, or not. We don't know yet. The consequences vary a lot between individuals, but especially for heavy users,
Maybe it's the feds, but the feds are onto something.
they have a variety of potentially unfunny
Tragic.
downsides.
The worst people
The
you
most
know,
common one
feds,
is that
are
your
right for
memory
once.
gets significantly worse. Sustained heavy use may reduce your ability to learn, your reasoning, perception, attention span, decision-making, language abilities, and impulse control. Most negative effects seem to go away or at least weaken over time after you quit, but again, we simply don't know enough.
It is true that it does make you slower, right? I thought that was just because it calms people down, though. Like, obviously, when you're chill, you have, like, you're less on edge and you're less, like, aware.
And need more research.
Kind of like alcohol.
Where the evidence is much clearer is that consuming a lot of weed is really bad for teenagers on multiple levels. If you start using heavily early,
No, you're about to tell, like, at least 30% of my chat right now that they stunted their teenage growth, and then they're gonna be like, fuck, is that why it's still 3 inches?
you have many more years to build up potentially negative side effects. Teens who use a lot are much more likely to become addicted to weed. This may just be correlation, and weed may not be the underlying cause, but
It's
heavy
not like voices or something. It's more like hearing music in another room. May just be sort of an overthinking paranoia kind of reaction.
Wait, does weed make you paranoid? Dust alert, welcome.
Weed users are more likely to perform
I thought that was
poorly in
meth.
school and less likely to fit.
I thought meth was the one that makes you paranoid because it's like, oh, there's bugs in my skin. I can feel them. Guys, there's bugs in my skin. I have to get the fucking bugs out. And then you go out and you kill like 50 people.
Finish their education. They are, on average, less satisfied with their life and what they've achieved. This may simply be because if your memory and motivation are stunted, you have fewer interesting experiences.
All
and
drugs
forget
make
the
you
ones
paranoid?
do
Real?
have. And there is
Even
strong
alcohol?
evidence that teen users are way more likely to develop mental health issues like psychosis, schizophrenia, depression, or anxiety later in life.
Wait, that's such a
Once
sick
again,
animation
the younger
though.
you start, the higher the risk. And it also seems to rise massively
Oh
with
my
high
God, gummy
THC
bears!
doses, making highly potent cannabis products even more dangerous for teens.
Gummy bear.
Okay, let's wrap this up. We've only focused on the negative sides in this video. That was the whole point. As we said before, for most people,
Hydration?
weed in
That was the
moderation
point.
is
We were
totally
sponsored by
fine
the feds.
and definitely way less harmful than alcohol. You do you, we're not your parents. The upside of moderation is also that when you do it, your experience will be more intense and special. But for teens, weed, especially using it regularly or a lot of it,
Isn't that
is
the
a
main
bad
audience
idea,
of weed?
with potentially life-changing
Are you trying to tell me that that's not the main and the most appealed to audience for weed? Teenagers?
consequences. We know that criminalization did nothing to make this better. We now have a new chance under legalization. It begins with being open and honest about the state of science and
I don't know why I see weed as so much more of like a teenager drug than alcohol, but when I think of an alcoholic, I think of like a 35-year-old man who's just like had a really hard life and like he's like fucking drinking 3 beers by 11 a.m. and like he's not happy about it, but that's just the way his life is. When I think about weed, I think about a teenager like, oh my God, guys, don't tell anyone. There might be a cop like 5 miles away, but like, do you want to smoke some weed at my house?
and acknowledging that weed is one drug among many others. Certainly not the worst one by a long shot, but also problematic for at least 1 to 3 out of 10 people using it. If you really have to try cannabis, there is a time and place, and that's in your 20s. If you're
My
younger,
20s?
the science is clear.
Shit, Chatty, I'm 18 forever, so I can't do weed.
Don't do it. At least, not yet. You'll have plenty of time to experiment later. Let's do a different experiment now.
Oh? It's a sponsor? That's fucking crazy. Oh my God, that's insane. Hashtag ad. Vaping is too good to be true. Not me going down a rabbit hole of this shit. Not me. Okay, I'll avoid it. I'll avoid it. I won't watch it, Chatty. I can control myself. I'm a good girl, and I can control it.
Hey, did you
I can
know
do
that
it.
back during the 1910s, birdcage hats were very briefly considered
Wait,
high fashion?
it's cool, but what happens
Yeah,
when it
people
shits
were, like,
on your
rolling
head?
up to parties with live birds on their head. Pretty
Yeah,
wild,
what happens when
right?
it shits on you?
Well, guess what? The birdcage hat is just the first of a whole series of weird trends and fads that I want to tell you about in this video. You know, absolutely insane stuff.
Don't feed it, I guess. Can't they just shit like out of nerves?
People actually thought was cool once upon a time. So, without further ado, let's keep the train moving with a little fad that was briefly popular
Keep
in
the train
Pittsburgh,
moving.
Pennsylvania back in 1899. I'm going to call this one the hair bag fad.
The what?
See, if you were a fashionable young lady back near the end
Why is he filming this in the
of
wilderness?
the 19th century, then the cool thing to do was to go around to all your male classmates or friends and ask for a bag of their hair. Yeah, like head hair. They're just supposed to like cut off a clump for you and then hand it over in a little plastic bag.
What the
So
fuck?
after a while, eventually, if you know enough boys, you're just gonna have like 20 or
That's so cruel. What if he's bald?
30 little sacks of human head hair lying around your house, right? But that's not even the weird part. Because once you have enough hair, what you're supposed to do is pour all that hair out together into a pillowcase and then tie it up so you got yourself a big old fluffy pillow full of all your friends' hair. You're gonna sleep like a log on that bad boy, right? And the best part of this particular fad too is that I even found like a newspaper article where some of the local Pittsburgh boys were
back then, if they had social media, guys would post like, and this is how much hair I gave to the girl that I liked, to my Oshi. And then there would be people like, she's not gonna fuck you, bro. She's not gonna fuck you. She's gonna put that in a pillow. She's gonna sleep on it, bro.
Complaining that too many girls were asking for their hair. So this fad was like popular enough that all these boys are talking about going bald from having to fork over so many of their clumps of hair for these weird little hair pillows. But hey, you want to know what's super crazy? Is that the hair bag isn't even the weirdest trend I found that involves taking physical souvenirs from people. No, that honor belongs to a little fad that popped up in the summer of 1902.
Unique fad.
So, you know how like some people's skin kind of starts to peel after they spend a few days in the sun? Like they get all like sunburn and then that first layer of skin starts to just like come off? Well, apparently, at one point in history, it was considered ultra trendy for young women to go around on the beach and ask all the men if they can peel off a piece of their sunburned skin to keep as a souvenir. I swear to God, this is real. And it goes even further than that too, because you're also supposed to ask the guy for like a card with his name on it, so you can stick your piece of human skin to.
I think this is way worse than the like locket of blood around the neck shit. Flame Wheel, thank you for the 39 months.
To the card, and then always remember who you got it from. I also love how this newspaper article about the fad, it includes a sentence that says, "There is not a single set of young ladies on this earth so original and so captivating as the American summer girl," you know? Oh, those sweet summer girls.
What the
so
fuck?
Innocent, so pure, with their rooms full of 56 pieces of human flesh stuck to the wall. Here's a good one.
You know, I really thought that, like, I thought that I was a weirdo with, like, my standards and how I don't like chatty talking to other women, but I'm not one of these bitches trying to put your skin in a fucking card. Cakes, welcome. Yeah, fentanyl sounds better than dating one of these girls.
From the
I agree.
1910s in Los Angeles. Luncheon in the surf. In this one, you just set up a lunch table in the ocean.
Darkside, I think you the 5 months. I appreciate
That's
it.
You just try to have lunch in the ocean. Don't spill everything.
Okay.
And try to enjoy the water, I guess. But I mean, that girl sure looks like she's having a good time. So who can argue? Boston
That's
fad.
fine.
Eating sand.
What the
You
hell?
can thank that dude for this one. You see, back in the early 1900s, Professor William Windsor here had a whole bunch of people convinced that eating sand was the key to a healthy life. So him and his wife, they used to like ship sand up from the Mississippi River and then sell it all around the Boston area, claiming to have cured like
In the modern age, they would be on an episode of My Strange Addiction.
70,000 people with their amazing magic sand. And their argument for why you should eat sand is that
that's a grift.
If you put a baby on the beach and just leave it alone and don't like interfere with what it's doing, it will try to eat the sand on the beach.
A baby will try to eat their own shit. Does that mean we should start shit maxing?
So therefore, the babies obviously know something that we don't, and we should all get to chowing down. Water golf. It's like normal golf, except you gotta stand in a boat and hit a ball that's floating on a tiny platform. Not surprising that this one didn't have much staying power. Here's one of my very favorites, the skeleton photo fad. So nowadays, you might like text a little picture of yourself to like your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever, right? Well, back in London in the 1920s, instead of doing that, you might go down to the doctor's office, get a full body skeleton x-ray photo taken, and then hand that over to whoever strikes your
Wait,
fancy.
that's nice. Wait, that's kind of base. That's kind of base.
Of someone like asking you out on a date and giving you like a little box of candy.
That is really funny, but I'm assuming back then they didn't know that the x-rays were like causing cancer and shit, potentially. So it's like funny and sad, but also it's like it's a lot of emotions.
Flowers, and then you just whip out your full body skull pick and
here's my insides.
All right, here's one I love.
Do you want to be inside them?
Picture. So in the 1920s, it became super popular for little boys, like 6-year-olds, to wear long pants, right? Like dress slacks, kind of.
That's so fucking funny. Guys, what if we took standard boy wear and instead of shorts, we let them wear pants?
As if they were like gonna go work in an office or something, right? which
Oh my
led
God.
to some pretty amazing newspaper articles. Like this one here, where a guy says that his 5-year-old nephew named Bobby Rudin went up to his parents himself and demanded that they buy him a pair of brand new long pants. Like this 5-year-old knows the trends and he is not gonna miss out on being fashionable. And dang, if that kid doesn't know how to rock a pair of slacks, Bobby Rudin. All right, how about a few fads related to eyeballs? Because apparently there was a lot of them back in the day. Like here's one from 1915. I guess it was briefly popular to paste a little picture of your boyfriend on your face, like right underneath your eyeball. Do you know in the 19th century,
Chatty, would you do this with me?
thought that rubbing your eye from outside to inside would improve your vision somehow?
Will it give you like an orgasm?
Is pretty crazy.
Because sometimes rubbing my eyes feels really good.
Eye fad, another European trend. This time London in the 1910s. And the crux of this one was that it was supposed to be cool to have one eye that was a different color from the other eye, right? And the way people would achieve this was to literally drip colored dye into their eyeball. So unsurprisingly, doctors at the time were trying their hardest to tell people not to drip poison into their eyes. But as one newspaper puts it, fashion cannot be foregone for mere hygienic.
You fucking idiots.
By the way, did you know that wearing fake eyeglasses to try and look smart is as old as the 1890s? Pretty crazy. All right, let me wrap up this eyeball section.
Mr. Spellsinger, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate it.
The beloved eye.
Hello, Lucy.
See, if you were a young man in a committed relationship back in the 1890s, then you just might commission a local artist to create an exact replica of your eyeball out of paint
Wait, this is good.
and jewels. And then
I like this.
You hang
I like
that
this
eyeball
one.
painting on some kind of like chain or a string of pearls, and you gift it
This
to
is
your
kinda
partner
based, I'm not
to
gonna
wear
lie.
around their neck whenever they go out and about. So
Chatty, would you want that for me?
Your girlfriend is now just like walking around town with a hyper-realistic eyeball hanging off their neck. And the whole point of this too was apparently to like signal to other men that this girl is taken. Like it's supposed to be like,
Wait,
my
that's so
eyeball
based.
is on
That's
this
awesome.
girl. I'm watching
Hydration.
you. Don't you dare try to take her away from me. Competitive rolling, briefly popular in the 1910s. You just see who can roll the farthest in 3 miles.
Wait, this is just like guy stuff. That's just male stuff. Male behavior.
This one is just so bizarre. It's called the seeing friends off to Europe craze. So if you want to follow this trend, what you do is you hire a taxi to drive you down to the nearest shipyard. Then you jump out of the taxi like you're in a huge panic, and you sprint down to the dock and you start tearfully waving at your friend who is just now leaving for Europe on a boat. And you call out their name as the sound of the boat gets more and more distant. Goodbye, goodbye. You wave.
Wait, this is romantic. It's just romance.
You think of your friend's memory.
Hi,
as they
Skylar.
embark
Is that your
on what
legal
sure
government-assigned
to be
name?
An incredible journey. Except there is no friend. You actually don't know a single person on that ship. You're just acting like you do. Yeah, like pretending to see people off to Europe was super.
But that's so fucking funny, actually. Wait, that's funny as hell. That's so funny. Oh my god, everyone on the boat, like, wow, what a lucky man, whoever she's talking about. Like, that's like from a movie. That's amazing. Wish that were me, but it's fucking no one.
Super in back during the 1890s. And the best part is that some people literally did this like multiple times in one day too. So you're just constantly getting back in the taxi, having it circle
This is the
block,
type of prank
and then
that should
jumping
be
out
done.
again. Like,
We need to bring back pranks like
go
this.
See your totally imaginary friend. All right, here's a couple where I just like the headline. New fad: women learning the jujitsu.
What?
New fad: not eating dog meat.
What?
New dangerous fad: teddy bears. This one's pretty crazy beyond just the headline too, because
Wait, this is literally, time is a fucking circle. We live in a loop. We live in a time loop. Because nowadays they have, like, articles online that are like, Tide Pods, new dangerous TikTok fad.
One journalist actually thinks that teddy bears are a dangerous fad because they're going to rob little girls of their motherly instincts.
What?
I don't know. Oh, by the way, did you know that a few companies actually tried to like...
Oh, what? You bought your daughter a teddy bear? No, that's fine. I mean, sure, if you want her to grow up to be a fucking lumberjack, you fucking piece of shit. What, do you hate your daughter if she's feminine?
Capitalize on the success of the teddy bear by releasing another stuffed animal line with a similar name and a supposed similar appeal. It was called Billy Possum. All right, here's a kind
Wait,
of
it's
grim
so cute
one.
though.
Morphine tea parties.
Oh,
Big in London
that's just drug
during
use.
the turn of the century.
That's
And I know,
just
right
a
off the
drug
bat,
party.
You're probably thinking like, oh, so they figured out a way to put like a small amount of morphine in tea, right? But no. Literally all this is that you drink tea and then the hostess of the party walks around and injects everybody with morphine.
What?
That's it. So it feels a little weird to call that a fad. I mean, I would just call that doing drugs. And the strange part about that
I was right. It is just a doing drugs party.
Only trend I found that involves like injecting yourself with something. Because apparently in Paris in the 1890s, people actually injected perfume straight into their veins, like with a syringe and everything. They even sold like
how is that supposed to work that way?
Injecting kits, complete with like all the equipment you would need to do this, which is
What
pretty
the
insane,
fuck?
right? I mean, the thought was that like getting perfume into your bloodstream would somehow like scent your entire body.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. I feel like whatever waste product would be taken out of that would just make you smell awful, actually.
Permanently, but unsurprisingly, the doctors did not agree. But hey, let's take a break from all the gross blood poisoning stuff with some fashion fads. How about this? Back in the 1920s, you might spot somebody walking around with their initials embroidered onto their stockings. I kind of like
I'm gonna do that with my
Or
next
even better,
VTuber outfit,
you might see
LP.
a lady headed to a fancy ball with a full-blown detailed painting of a ship across her back. Yeah, this
that's
is
kind of
supposed to be
based.
like a little addition to the open-backed ball
I like
gowns
this,
that
I
were
like
big at
this.
the time, and I really like this one actually. Like somebody's got to bring this back. All right, here's a super crazy one. Look at this picture. You see that black thing like hanging on the lady's chest there? That is a live turtle attached to her clothes. Yeah, from about like 1890 to 1910ish, it was considered super
Kinda
fashionable
cute,
to
but wouldn't it
attach
bite you?
live animals to your clothes with like little leash things, and not just turtles either, like beetles
Poor
and
Beetle?
lizards. And
The fate of all
this one is just,
femboys,
like, so
being
out
tied
there,
to a
right?
woman.
I mean, I literally found a bunch of articles talking about how your little like beetle accessory is literally just crawling around all over your neck as you're just walking around the party like it's not even there. Oh, and I actually even found a report saying that a lady in Arkansas actually died in 1906 because she
put a
accidentally
spider?
attached a poisonous lizard to her dress that then bit and killed
What an
her. Like,
idiot.
apparently
What a
she just,
fucking
like,
idiot.
heard about this trend and then walked out into her garden.
They literally
and
are
grabbed a
dying due to
random lizard and
trends.
attached
It's
that
just
to her
time as a
clothes and
circle.
It killed her. All right, here's another one that just like conjures up a real funny mental picture. The raw egg fad. This one was
You gotta love it, because people are like, we've got to be careful about these things like TikTok because it's teaching kids about these fads and then children are dying. They were dying even when they had to find out on the newspaper.
big with women in Philadelphia back in the 1890s. And literally all it is that when you go to the bar, instead of ordering a drink, you order a raw egg. Yeah, seriously.
Okay.
It was not uncommon to see like 6 women at once push up to the front of the bar, smack down a wine glass each on the counter, and then watch as the bartender just goes down the line like crack, crack.
What the fuck?
And then everybody's got their raw egg and their wine glass, and you just
And their
knock it back.
salmonella.
So ladies, next time you're having a girls' night, I think you know what to do. All right, we're in the home stretch
The
now.
raw
Just got
egg
a couple
whiskey.
more for you here, like the new fad that jars nerves. That
What?
was the headline for a trend popular with young ladies in Milwaukee, Wisconsin back in 1904. And this one is pretty simple. So let's say you want to like get a nice photograph of yourself, right? Well,
Okay.
Well, clearly, the cool thing to do would be to head down to the Undertaker's, have
What?
them put you in a coffin lined with velvet,
That's
and
just
then
goth.
fold your
That's
hands
just goth.
across
That's
your
just goth.
chest like
That's
you're
just goth.
dead, and then lay some flowers
This is
down
just
on top
goth
of your
behavior.
body, and then click. There you go. You got a beautiful photo of yourself as a corpse. But all right, I think it's just about time.
I
we
mean,
wrap.
Chatty, you don't want a preview? You don't want a preview of like what you're gonna look like when you're dead? You don't want to be like, I wonder. And then just like take a photo and be like, oh, so that's me dead.
Up this video. I want to show you my very favorite old fad. Or I guess more specifically, I want to tell you about my favorite death of an old fad. You see, one summer out on Martha's Vineyard, it became very popular for women to wear little bells on their garters. You know,
I could add one. I could add one to mine.
Soft little ring,
like a cat,
a glint of light
like a cat.
When you run along the beach or
oh my
stroll
god!
through a ballroom.
Imagine I made like little
weird,
jingle
right?
noise.
I mean, it seems like something that could actually have some legs even today, right? It's pretty simple, but didn't last that long. It fell out of favor pretty quick.
Damn, not
when
based.
a man one day proudly walked into a hotel dining room with 2 giant cowbells attached to both of his legs. And I guess that ended the
one cowbell per one ball sack.
trend right then and there. But come on, that's a little rude, right? I mean, let the poor guy rock the cowbell. He's just trying to get it on the fashion. Don't act like you've never chased a trend.
That's crazy. And what I've learned is that time is a fucking circle. Okay. County and Irvis present Shadi Goes to Momocon. Oh my god! All of these edited Demonites are so cute! Oh my god! What the hell is this one with the hippopotamus? What the fuck? Hello? That's crazy. Oh, look at these pictures! Yeah, a lot of people were wearing my howdy. Very cute, very cute. Look at me, Chatty. I'm there. I'm real, Chatty, and I'm in the way of my QR code. I take a picture with my standee. I swear, I think the standee's a little bit too short. Not 4'11". I think it's like 4'9" or something. I think they misprinted it. Just so you know, I think it was misprinted. Yeah. Yeah, see, this is more my height. This is more my height right here. You see how short this guy is, like, next to me? That's more my height. And this is a misprint. That's a misprint right there. They fucked it up. They flubbed it. Oh, this is the con center. Yeah, I saw some pictures of this. Very busy. Very busy. That's a lot. Oh my god, the Miku car. The Miku... Wait, who's that? Chatty, who's this? It says
Final measurement for the standee actually
says?
turned out to be exactly 5 feet, so it turns out taller than Lucy by 1 inch.
I'm never streaming again. I'm never streaming again. Look at me next to all these other women. Okay. So then are you telling me that Leimu is shorter? Are you telling me that Leimu's character is shorter than mine? Is that what you're saying right now? Is that really what you're trying to say to me? That Leimu is shorter than me? That's crazy. Then why do I get made fun of? Why do I have to deal with this shit when everybody else is just as short? They're barely that much taller. Oh my god, look, it's my posters. I'm so glad that they got the signed versions there. Ah la la la, ah la la la, kawaii, kawaii, kawaii. Oh, you guys look so cute. I can't see your faces, but like the outfits are crazy. Oh my god, Jesus Christ, that's a busy table. Wow, and my doll, my plushies. Chatty, it's like being at the Olympics. It's exactly the same. This is so nice. I'm glad you guys got the big group picture. So cute, so cute. Monday Night Raw is going to be on June 9th. Lucy, you're going to see it? Guys, what the fuck is Monday Night Raw? I have a collab with Fillion on Monday. I can't remember what it was, but I have a collab with Fillion on Monday. Real. It will be happening. Yeah, wrestling. Every day I'm wrestling. Okay. I don't know if I want to watch this video yet. So I'm going to do this one first.
Hi, you live on Earth. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it,
Real?
but why is
True?
it there? The Bible has a story to tell. In the beginning, before there was anything, before there was anywhere, before there was any
Jonas,
when,
hi.
there was God, who is everywhere and every when. He is isness itself, and he has everything, so he doesn't even need to
He is
create the world.
isness.
But God still created the world. Wait, no,
Why
it didn't
would he
look
do
like that
such
at
a
first.
thing?
It was more formless and
What
void
an
and
idiot.
very dark. But God let there be light, so now there's light. And this light stuff is pretty good, so God separated it from the darkness. And we should give these things names. Good news, the water below is now separated from the water above. Even more good news, now there's dry land.
Wait, this is literally that Bill Wirtz video.
And guess what? Now there's life, just plants for now. But the plants might have cleaned up the air, so now you can see the sun, moon, and stars. That's going to be very useful.
Oh my god, Base!
There's animals in the water. There's animals in the air. There's animals on the land. And now it's time for God's coolest creation so far. God made a human person, called Adam.
Okay. I think there's a lot of debate about the coolest creation, but I don't know. I heavily doubt that humans are the coolest creation. Really?
And gave him an awesome garden, but he was still lonely, so God gave him a wife. These two kinds of humans are made out of the same stuff, but also different so they can have a relationship.
Wait, why are the trees? Why are there diamonds in the trees? Is this what fruits look like? This is like, oh, okay, I get it, because it was like the beginning. So the graphics were really bad. So this is like very polygonal graphics for the beginning of the Earth.
God gave them a lot of trees, but two big important ones. They're allowed to eat
stars.
from this one, because if they do, they're going to live forever. But God told them not to eat from this one, because if they do, they die. Seems like a pretty obvious.
This is what it means. It's like, this is the tree of knowledge. If you look things up and you learn about things, you will wish that you had died.
It's choice, right? Actually,
it's
said
all
some snake who's
metaphorical.
actually the devil, God doesn't want you to eat from this tree because you're going to become like him, and he doesn't want you to get too powerful. Okay, said Eve. Okay, said Adam. So they ate from the tree, and just like that, humanity had failed God's requirements for them. They lost access to the tree of life, which means they're going to end up dying. Humanity had sided
Oh my god, wait, is this video full of spoilers?
with Satan over God, losing all rights to the life that God gave them. So nobody could blame God if he ended humanity right then and there. But God didn't do that. God promised one day Satan would be destroyed by one of their kids.
He's like, one day, bro, I will kill my op. One day, I will fuck him up.
But Adam and Eve already sinned, so let's see if their kids can do any better.
Humanity broke TOS. Oh my god, they broke TOS, and then just like Nintendo, they fucking bricked Eden.
Cain is mad at his brother Abel because Abel's better at having faith in God. God tells Cain he needs to resist sin, and Cain kills his brother. Why did he do that?
Fuck you!
Well, you see, the problem of Adam's sin was passed down to Cain because the problem affects all of humanity. So as humans
The original sin, incest.
multiply, sin and evil multiply. Enough of this. God chooses the least evil guy, a guy named Noah. He's still a sinner, but he has faith in God, so he's a relatively decent guy compared to everyone else. God tells him to build a boat for him and his family, and everyone laughs at them until God makes a huge flood that kills everyone except them.
And then there was
But
more
once the flood
incest.
passes, God makes the rainbow the sign of his covenant. Remember that promise that Satan's gonna be destroyed?
Oh my god, wait. Noah's gay?
God adds to it, saying he's not going to destroy the world again until then, because now people are going to have some basic decency. God's not fixing the world yet, but he's making it a stable enough place so that he can do that in the future. So now people are not quite as evil as they were before. They're good enough that they can work together in society, but evil
quite
enough
as
that they're going
evil.
to use that to build a huge tower up
The
to
Tower
God
of
out of their own
Babel!
pride. And evil people
I am literally the Tower of Babel, by the way.
People are dangerous when they're given too much power. So God makes the whole tower thing fail by dividing everyone's language. So maintenant le monde ne peut pas travailler ensemble. So now people are divided into different nations, and these nations each have their own gods. But wouldn't it be cool if there was one nation specifically devoted to the one true God? So God chose Abraham to be the father of his people, and God updated the covenant saying that God's going to make a nation that he's going to use to fix the world. God promised Abraham he's going to have as many kids as the stars in the sky.
Oh my god, that's a
And
lot of
Abraham was
children.
like, how's that going to be possible? My wife is super old.
Damn, they've been hating on hags since the fucking beginning.
But Abraham still had faith in God's covenant. So does that mean he's the chosen one who's going to defeat Satan? Well, sadly no, because Abraham still sinned by telling the king that his wife was really his sister.
Abraham?
But they do have kids.
What? I mean, he might not have been lying considering how the Bible goes.
This one struggled with God, so he got the name Israel, which means struggled with God. And his children are going to become the 12 tribes of Israel. He struggled with God because sin is still a problem. If you think your family is bad, this one was so dysfunctional that they sent Joseph to slavery in Egypt. But while he was there, God gave him the ability to protect Egypt from starving to death. So now Egypt loves Joseph, and in a great act of forgiveness, Joseph invited the rest of his family back to live with him in Egypt. So God was glorified through his people by turning a bad thing into a good thing. At first, Egypt likes the Israelites, but when they multiply a lot, Egypt stops liking them and enslaves them instead. Moses is one of the Israelites, and when he sees an Egyptian beating another Israelite, he kills the Egyptian. Come on, Israelites, let's rise up.
Rise up, like
Or
in the
you're gonna get
Hamilton,
us in
like in the Hamilton
trouble.
musical.
So Moses has to flee Egypt, and he moves to the middle of nowhere, joins a sheep farm, gets married, and lives happily ever after. But one day God appears to Moses in a burning bush, saying it's finally time for the Israelites to have that land
I like
God
the burning
promised them.
bush song.
So God tells Moses to tell the leader of Egypt to let his people go. So Moses goes back.
It's kind of so fucking funny to think about, like, getting a connection with the Lord through a burning fucking bush. Like, we couldn't invent telephones earlier. You couldn't have given us that fucking power, so it'd be a lot more simple. No, I have to be walking out in the woods and you fucking set a bush on fire?
Egypt and tells Pharaoh, let my people go. No. But God gives
It would be
Moses
kind
the
of
ability
hype. No one would believe you. No one would believe you. Dude, I was walking outside and there was a fucking bush on fire and like God's voice was coming out of it. That's how you get put in a mental hospital.
cause plagues in Egypt. Let my people go, or the river turns to blood. No. Or you get frogs everywhere. No. Gnats. No. Flies. No.
No.
Dead livestock. No.
No.
Boils. No.
No.
Hail. No.
No.
Locusts. No.
No.
Darkness. No.
No.
Let us go, or your firstborn sons will die.
Well, I
No.
guess.
But then the firstborn sons die, so the Pharaoh's like, okay, fine, you can leave. So the Israelites set out for the promised land, but when they're about halfway there, Egypt changes its mind and sends
He was like, he's bluffing.
the army after them to bring them back. They corner them by the Red Sea. We've got you surrounded. Oh yeah, says Moses. Watch this. So the waters of the Red Sea part, the Israelites escape, but when the Egyptians try to follow them, they unpart and they all die. On their journey, they take a rest stop at Mount Sinai so God can give them the law for when they live in the Promised Land. Moses will go up to the top of the mountain to receive the law, so he says, don't worship any false gods while I'm gone.
And then they worship false
Bro, I'm
gods.
bored. Let's worship some false gods.
Oh my
So they make
God.
a golden calf and worship it. Meanwhile, on
Shaddy, I'm not a false god. I am a true
the
god.
top of the mountain, the presence of God descends upon the mountain, and Moses receives the law on stone tablets, including the 10 Commandments. But when Moses goes back down and sees the Israelites worshiping a false god, he gets so mad he smashes the stone tablets. So he goes back up the mountain and gets new stone tablets. And God adds to the covenant, saying he's going to give the people the law and the land if they're faithful to the covenant. So let's see how faithful they're going to be. The people are approaching the promised land, but the evil Canaanites already live there. They have strong fortresses and big, scary soldiers, and the Israelites are going to have to fight them to take over the land. Come on, guys, be brave. God's going to be with you? No, we're too afraid. So the Israelites turn away, they don't invade the land, which means they did not have faith in God's covenant. So their punishment is they have to wander around the Sinai desert for 40 years. But what about Moses? He didn't do anything wrong, so maybe he's the chosen one who's going to defeat Satan? Well, no, Moses still sinned by doing a miracle the wrong way, so his punishment is he's going to die before he gets to enter
Wait, how do you do a miracle the wrong way? You can't just drop that on us and not explain it.
the promised land.
We need a
But then
footnote.
the next generation of
A
Israelites,
spark note,
led by
please.
Joshua, does enter the land, uses trumpets to smash the city of Jericho, and drives out the rest of the Canaanites. Cool.
He
now
did it
we
with a
finally
rock? How did it turn into a miracle then?
have our land, but who's going to rule us? So God appoints judges to rule over the people and defend them from the enemy nations. Because during this time, there's a pattern that goes something like this. There's peace in the land, but then people get lazy and forget about God. So God lets their enemies conquer
Oh my God,
them,
a
but then people
cycle.
turn back to God. So God strengthens them to reconquer their land, and there's peace in the land again. This pattern repeats many, many times with many, many different judges, and people are starting to get sick of it. Bro, why can't we just have a king? Trust me, you don't want a king, says Samuel. Come on, everyone else has a king. Okay, fine, says Samuel, but the king's gonna be oppressive. So Samuel anoints Saul as king, and sure enough, Saul is an oppressive ruler.
No
You know who'd be a
shit.
better ruler? This young kid, David. He's just a shepherd and a
Oh my
string player,
God,
so no one takes him
David!
seriously. But one day, a huge, scary caveman
I
warrior,
don't know who did.
Goliath,
Oh,
shows
David
up
and
to fight the Israelites.
Oh,
Okay, guys, who wants to
Naruhodo.
fight Goliath? I'll do it, says David. So David takes out his slingshot, hits Goliath in the head with a rock, and kills him. So now
Easy.
David's a hero,
Easy
and
clap.
everyone loves David, and Saul is getting pretty jealous of David. Especially because all the girls are chanting, Saul has slain his thousands.
Oh my
and
God, he was
David
actually a
his
Chad.
tens of thousands. So Saul wants to kill David. So David flees, and Saul pursues him. But one day David gets a golden opportunity to kill Saul while he's using the bathroom, but he doesn't, so Saul forgives David. But one day Saul dies
What
to
the
avoid
fuck?
being captured, so David becomes the next king. This is awesome. It starts out really well, and David gains a lot of victories for his kingdom. Maybe he's the chosen one that's going to defeat Satan. Except no, David sins because he likes this one woman, so he has her husband killed in battle so he can steal her.
Pussy been dooming men in the Bible since the fucking beginning.
So God makes
Classic.
everything go downhill for David after that. But God still promises that one of David's descendants will be the king that he couldn't be, have a kingdom that covers the entire world and lasts forever. So let's add this to the covenant. Maybe David's son Solomon can do it. He's off to a great start, asking God for wisdom and then writing down a bunch of wise sayings,
Never eat
which
yellow
impresses
snow.
all the kings and queens of the earth who want to learn from Solomon. And furthermore, Solomon builds a huge, beautiful temple to glorify God. So right now, his kingdom is a shining beacon of light to the world, and God is glorified through his people. So maybe Solomon's that future king who's gonna rule the entire world.
Is he him?
Except no,
Is he him?
Solomon sins by having a bunch of wives and mistresses, some of whom are not Israelite, so Solomon ends up worshipping foreign gods, and then everything goes downhill for
He
Solomon
is not
as well.
him.
And after this,
He
things
is
kind of
not
went downhill
him.
for the kingdom as a whole because people kept sinning more. The kingdom split into Israel and Judah, and both kingdoms got evil kings who worshipped pagan gods. But it's not like everything was bad during this time period, because a lot of great prophets arose who encouraged people to turn back to God. And even when the temple was literally being used as a place of demon worship, God never told the prophets to abandon the temple, but instead to restore, revive, and retake the temple. And there were actually some good kings who listened to them and reformed the temple, encouraging people to remember God's covenant. But even with all this, eventually Israel was eaten by Assyria, Judah was eaten by Babylon, they smashed the temple, and the Israelites were carried off to exile. Eventually, Persia got a nice king who let the
Primordial Soup, I'm going to fucking ban you! I'm going to fucking ban you! Dude! Look at your fucking message history! Lucy, can I give you a present by putting a gift in your box? Hey Lucy, I saw your Final Fantasy XIV video. I love the part of the video when you were in the bed. Lucy, what's your OnlyFans so I could send? Lucy, link your hottest YouTube video. Go find one of the 1 million fucking VTubers doing OnlyFans content and ask them for their fucking OnlyFans!
Israelites go back to their land, and even gave them money to rebuild their temple. Maybe now it's finally time for that eternal kingdom. So they're rebuilding the temple. Yo, this is gonna be so great! I don't know, man. It's just not like it was before. They were kind of disappointed that it wasn't time for the eternal kingdom yet, but they still had faith in God's covenant that was going to happen eventually. And the prophets started focusing a lot on this future king, giving him names like Messiah, or the Son of Man. Daniel said that this kingdom would outlast all the other kingdoms. Micah said this king would be born in Bethlehem. Isaiah said this king would suffer for the sins of his people.
You gotta imagine it like on a fucking message board where people are like, save this for the future. He will be born in Bethlehem. And then people are like posting screenshots and they're like, oh my god! Real? Is real?
And Zechariah said God will send God to live with us. Does that mean this king is gonna be God? Everyone's wondering about this Messiah. When is he gonna come? And who is he gonna be? An Israelite woman named Mary sees an angel who says she's going to have a baby. The baby's going to be a king, just like his ancestor David, and his kingdom is never going to end. Bruh, I'm literally a virgin. That's okay, the Holy Spirit will give you a baby.
This reads so much like a woman trying to make excuses for why she's pregnant to like the guy she's actually supposed to be married to, even though they haven't had a baby yet.
So your baby is literally going to be
like
the Son of God.
It's the Son of God.
Alright, so Mary gives birth to Jesus in a manger in Bethlehem and calls him Emmanuel, which means God with us. I think there was a prophecy about that. And 3 wise men show up to the party because of a star that they saw. Hi, is this where the king was born? We have some presents for him. But then Herod heard that a great king was just born in Bethlehem. King of Israel, you say? I'm the only king around here. I think there was a prophecy about this. So King Herod got really jealous and ordered people to go to Bethlehem to kill this new baby king. So Mary and her husband Joseph had to flee Bethlehem and go to Egypt until it was safe to come back. I think there was a prophecy about this. When Jesus grows up, his first miracle is actually making wine for a party because his mom told him to.
Pretty base.
But his real ministry doesn't start
That's so fucking funny. He's a mama's boy.
He's baptized by John the Baptist.
Holy,
John the
literally.
Baptist is a guy in the wilderness who baptizes people and tells them to turn back to God. I think there was a prophecy about this. But when Jesus is baptized, God declares that Jesus is his son and sends the Holy Spirit upon him. Right after that, Jesus went into the desert and ate nothing for 40 days, and that's when Satan tried to tempt Jesus to sin, but he didn't sin. Up until now,
Jesus
John
was
the
on
Baptist
Twitter.
was preaching about the kingdom of God, but then he went to jail, so Jesus takes over, which makes sense because he's actually the king. So what's the kingdom of God like? Jesus said the kingdom of God brings liberation to the oppressed, and is good news for poor people, not just rich people. That those who are poor and sad now are going to inherit the entire world, and that this kingdom is the fulfillment of everything God promised. But he doesn't just tell people what the kingdom of God is, he shows them by casting out demons, healing the sick, and forgiving people's sins. He's going on tour through all the towns in the land.
Shadi, do you think I could be forgiven by the Lord?
And everyone is amazed, except the people from his hometown, because it's embarrassing.
like after every stream because I'm not changing my outfit.
That they knew him as a kid. Jesus chose 12 helpers, and more people became his followers. A lot of people loved Jesus, but some people who did not love him were the Pharisees.
Do you know how crazy it must be to be like a Christian VTuber, but like at the same time you're like debuting outfits like this? Like after every stream you're like praying and you're like, Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I did not show modesty on my stream. I'm sorry that I committed to sin.
They were obsessed with following all the rules, hoping to impress God so he would give back their kingdom. Because right now the Israelites, or I guess now they're called Jews, were living under the Roman Empire, which was run by Gentiles, which are people who are not Jewish people. And the Pharisees were hoping to bring back the kingdom of Israel, but Jesus' kingdom seemed to be about something different. They didn't like how Jesus hung out with sinners for—
Oh my god, dude, he would have had a Twitch stream. He wouldn't have banned any of you. He would have allowed that one guy who was like asking for my sexy YouTube video. He would have been like, I don't have a sexy YouTube video. What I do have is a connection with the Lord.
Gave other people's sins, welcomed Gentiles, told them to pay taxes to Rome,
he would have handled that so much better.
And challenged their authority. So they thought Jesus was not the real Messiah. But then one day on the top of a mountain, Jesus was transfigured in front of other people, and Moses and Elijah, big important people from the Old Testament, appeared next to him. So that made the Pharisees look really stupid. So when Jesus entered Jerusalem, the most important city where the temple was, he was greeted like a king with people waving palm tree branches.
Oh my gosh,
and people were
Jesus!
even worshiping Jesus, which
They
made
were
the
trying to
Pharisees
get like
really
signatures
mad.
and shit.
Everyone knows you're only supposed to worship God. So if Jesus is accepting worship, either he's God or he's blaspheming. And I think you know which one the Pharisees went with. So they plotted to kill Jesus. Jesus was predicting this, so he summoned all his disciples for one last supper. He took bread and wine, saying the bread was his body and the wine was his blood, and we should do this in remembrance of him. And he made a new covenant promising forgiveness of sins. And he said that one of the disciples would betray him.
One of you will betray me. I want to do a 13th sup, like the last supper stream, and I want to do it with my friends, and I'll say, one of you will betray me. And then I'll look really close at Bao.
Sure enough, this one betrayed Jesus by helping people arrest him. He did it because he was paid to. Some of the other disciples tried to fight back, but Jesus told them not to do that because this all needs to happen.
It must happen.
Jesus was handed over to the Roman soldiers led by Pontius Pilate, who killed him by hanging him on a cross. If you're wondering how painful crucifixion is, it's where we get the word excruciating from. Once Jesus died, there was darkness, and one of the soldiers was like, guys, I think we just crucified the Son of God.
That's crazy.
I think there was a prophecy about this. So Jesus totally could have stopped this from happening, so why didn't he? Well, you may remember, everything kept failing because people kept sinning. Jesus was the only one who didn't sin, so he made a sacrifice for sin to solve the problem of sin.
Isn't that crazy? Not even once. Not even one F-bomb. Not even one F-bomb.
And people realized Jesus was indeed the Messiah, or the Christ. Jesus was buried in a tomb. On the third day, some women came to visit the tomb and found the tomb empty. Then Jesus appeared alive to the women. Then Jesus appeared alive to the disciples. Thomas had his doubts at first, but then he believed and realized Jesus was God. So they all worshiped Jesus because they realized Jesus was the chosen one who defeated Satan.
Me when I say he will rise again, but instead of it being like a Christian thing, I'm talking about my dick.
He defeated Satan by defeating death when he rose from the dead. And Jesus ate a fish to prove that his resurrection was physical. Then Jesus gave them the ultimate Bible study, explaining how all the scriptures were about him. He was doing this to train them to build the church. Hold up, why do we have to do this? Isn't Jesus going to start his kingdom now? Well, Jesus said it wasn't for them to know when that was going to happen, but for now, the church is the kingdom.
He really said, mind your own business.
He commanded them to baptize people all over the world and convert all the nations. And with that, Jesus ascended into heaven, but he promised he would come back one day, and in the meantime, he sent the Holy Spirit to empower them to build the church. So now Jesus is in heaven, but it's not like he's gone. He's ruling over his kingdom from heaven through the church, and when he comes back, he's going to bring heaven.
Wait, what does this mean about Catholic churches where... No, sorry, that's down
to earth to redeem it. You know how Jesus rose from the dead? He's going to raise everyone from the dead on Judgment
Guys,
Day.
I wasn't going to say anything.
He's going to throw Satan into
The rapture will happen! Mark my fucking words!
hell finally, and he's even going to throw death into hell so death won't exist anymore.
Throw death into hell? Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Of life and live in a perfect
We're gonna
world
go back
forever.
to Eden,
So
Chatty.
why does everything exist? It all exists for Jesus and for his kingdom. He's going to conquer everything and make all bad things good. The question is,
Oh my God,
do you
based.
want to be a part of that?
When? Just give us a time and a place. Just give us a date. Just Just tell us when, like announce it, like drop the Rapture trailer. We need to know a good time so that we can be there for the release date. Very important. What it looks like versus what it feels like. Oh, okay. Next. I'm sorry! I'm sorry! We were out of time at the end! I'm sorry! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You guys aren't saying you were scared to meet me, are you? You're not saying you were nervous to meet me, are you? Wait. This got, oh my god, 949 upvotes on my fucking subreddit? That's crazy. Oh my god, lucky you. That was a Guy's Weeaboo, I think. Pretty base. Okay. Okay. Every level of hell explained. We'll put that on hold for now. After making the difficult decision to stop playing gacha games, I wanted some new backgrounds. Oh my god, guys, this looks so cute. Do you recognize this? It's from GamerSupps V-Card. Which, did you know I have a cup? Did you know I have a cup that you can buy with code Lucy? Hydration. Wow. Yeah, this is a pretty good art if I do say so myself. I'm starting to appreciate more the black-haired version. Like at the beginning I liked the white-haired version more. But then everybody said they liked this one a lot, and now I get it. Now I'm woke. Arctic Memer, welcome, hi. The reality of being neurodivergent. Oh yeah, I saw this, the premise of this, and I'm very interested in it.
So I have autism and ADHD. Never mentioned it before.
Already over with your life.
Surprising
Sorry,
news
done.
for everybody. But I talk about it because it's a large part of my life. It explains
thank you,
various
welcome.
parts of what make me, me. The way I am is all I've ever known. But to other people, the way I am
This
might
animation
seem
kinda cute.
odd or unusual. Unrelated to how I live in their walls, I think. But I don't know. There's an annoying
Why do people
rhetoric
accuse me
online
of that all
about
the time?
neurodivergent people that makes it seem like we are just quirky and different in a fun way. But in actuality,
I think the people who try to portray it that way are people who don't actually have it and they don't realize how debilitating it actually is to have a serious mental illness that's serious enough to be put in the fucking DSM.
things like autism and ADHD are disabilities, not just funny little personality traits. There are a lot of misconceptions about autism and ADHD.
True.
Like, as the name suggests, autism is a spectrum, but it's not a linear 0 to 100% spectrum. It's
100%.
more like a series of music faders, where each slider is a different autistic trait. Two people can both have autism, but experience autism differently. And it's important to know that showing one or two symptoms or characteristics of neurodivergence doesn't necessarily mean
true.
you are neurodiverse.
A lot of things require you to have at least 5 symptoms from a long list of things to be diagnosed with it. Spirit Swordsman, thank you for the 35 months, blah blah. So like, for example, if I just had issues with loud noises but none of the other traits, I would not qualify for a diagnosis because clearly I have something else going on.
People say, everybody's a little autistic, but if I had a random cough, you wouldn't say, everybody is a little asthmatic, you know?
Did you just throw an inhaler at me?
If it had, like, ham in it, closer to a British carbonara.
If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike. You know what, you know,
Given their lifelong conditions, I have always had autism and ADHD, but I've only known that I have for about 3 years now. I've seen people online call young queer people who have only recently realised that they are LGBTQ baby gays.
No one understands
and
how
in a way,
difficult it is to want to do something, but then having 10 other thoughts running around in your head all fighting each other.
So true. Thank you for the 300 bits. ADHD is not a mental disorder that you should wish even on your, well, maybe on your worst enemy, you know, because it's the most likely thing to make them flop. I think there's a lot of people out there who have a lot to give the world, a lot to show the world, and they'll never do it because they have ADHD.
I feel like I am a baby autist. I'm still having moments where I lie in bed at night and thinking about memories from the past before my eyes shoot open and I go, oh, that was the autism.
It was the meltdown.
Realising I'm neurodiverse has allowed me to consider why I might be the way that I am. As not a professional, I don't entirely know what happens because of my neurodivergence and what might happen just because I am anxious or because, frankly, I'm human. And so, regardless of the cause, if you've ever felt different, I'm gonna show you that it's not just you. Something I struggle with is traveling. This video is sponsored by Saley.
Oh no. I got cooked. I got cooked. It's over. It's over for me, guys. I got cooked.
Sad movies won't make me cry. Sad music won't make me cry. But what will...
I have cried very rarely at sad movies. Very, very, very rarely.
Without fail, make me cry though, is being overwhelmed. If I get unpleasantly surprised, even if I am safe and well, the shock of it kind of melts my brain. I will also cry when told off or when in unfair situations. Back when I was 18 and still in school,
I'll cry if you slap me. I learned this from a play.
I got confused with the turn-in date on a piece of maths homework. I had not done it yet, and because of this, the teacher not only gave me a detention, but sent me out of the room. A detention? I haven't had one of those since I was 12. I'm a legal adult. I don't even legally need to be here. This is stupid. I cried so hard and so uncontrollably that I could not breathe. The National Autistic Society describes a meltdown as an intense response to an overwhelming situation. It happens when someone becomes completely overwhelmed by their current situation and temporarily loses control of their behavior.
I just go nonverbal and isolate. Sometimes I feel like I very rarely cry, but then again, maybe I did have a meltdown recently and cried in a very abnormal way that's not like me.
I think that's what happened here. From an outsider's perspective, I just looked like I was acting up, but I couldn't help it. Maybe I should have acted up though. Screw teachers who like a power trip. Something else that I struggle with is...
There's no in-between for teachers. Either it's a base teacher who's like really nice to you and can level with you on a personal level because they remember what it's like to be a student, or it's somebody who like after they became a teacher they said, I'm going to use this as my one claim to fucking power and I will treat everybody under my liege like shit.
Knowing what to do in public places. Things that might seem intuitive to people, like ordering food at a cafe, often stress me out.
Same!
Additionally, my auditory processing isn't great. Like, sometimes I can hear people but struggle to work out what they are saying, so having to ask people to repeat themselves over a counter is stressful.
Ariana Grande?
For everybody involved, my interest in a hot meatball marinara with extra jalapenos outweighs all, and I will tolerate the mild stress in exchange for a sandwich. I choose to tolerate.
No. This is the joy of like mobile ordering, is that you don't have to talk to anyone to do it.
But for some things in life, you've got to face them whether you want to or not. ADHD makes executive functioning, or in simpler terms, doing things, hard. So on top of normal work pressures, having a brain that struggles with organisation, task management, and not getting distracted means working can be very stressful. Even what on the outside might seem like an easy job can feel like walking through mud. The favourite jobs that I have had have been ones where the work wasn't the same every day and have allowed...
Oh my god, true! That's why I'm so good at streaming, because it's different every day!
Help me to be creative. A lot of neurodivergent people, though, really enjoy repetitive work, like stock checking or manufacturing. Personally, I'd rather chew off my own...
I like repetitiveness in games.
...fingers one by one. In short, it's good to evaluate your work options and try different things to see what makes you happiest, or at least want to chew your fingers off the least. Being neurodivergent is hard, but it's not all bad. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but there are a lot of content creators who have autism or ADHD, and
there's a lot of autistic people out there on the internet because no other place will accept them. Kulal, welcome. I love cutting a tree for 12 hours, can't get enough. It's pretty based, right?
I don't think that's...
I don't know. Yeah, maybe... Hi, Dia! It's almost like you relate.
Coincidence. When you can't help but think differently to the majority of people, it means you're going to have unique ideas, and having a disinterest or misunderstanding of social norms means you might not be as afraid to be different.
I am afraid to be different, while also being unaware of social norms.
Stand out. Show the things that you make and be noticed for it. If you want to learn more, I encourage you to check out
Color intensity. Researchers have found changes in the rods and cones in autistic children's eyes. 85% saw colors with greater intensity than 85%? Does that mean that I see color better than you? Is that why sometimes you people tell me that something is like a color and I'm like, no, it's not?
Webpage that shows autistic people's strengths. Hello, it's me in flesh form. This is my view.
Guys, it's your fault. Oh my god, she just face doxed herself. This is crazy. I thought you were a cat.
It's actually me.
Oh.
Anyway, there are a few things I want to say that have become relevant since I first wrote the script, and so I'm saying them now. The US Health Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Wait. Did I just watch a video? This is the video? Am I crazy? I don't feel like she actually discussed anything in this title. I was expecting her to go a little bit more into like how people perceive these disorders and then how they actually are. Interesting. So what happens if I skip this part with the face docs?
Multifaceted thing that a video of this length cannot fully capture. But if you
then make it longer!
Liked this video, let me know, and maybe I'll make
then
another
I'm dead
one
welcome.
in the future. I stream every now and again, and I have a second channel that I plan on uploading more on soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Well? Maybe I have to make the video. Lucy doesn't care about shit that spews out of flesh, people. It's true. I don't. I'm sorry. I know I'm a bad person. Her ADHD didn't allow her to make the video longer. I mean... That's... Now you guys have made it... You've put me in a situation where I can't say that I feel a little dissatisfied because now I'm ableist. You've turned me fucking ableist, you assholes! Now I can't say anything because suddenly I'm fucking ableist! Daimyo Byakuya, thank you for the tier 3 in the 2 months. I appreciate
Anime
it.
girls are superior
Blah, blah.
to 3D women.
Yeah. Well, we been knew about that shit. We knew it all long ago. It's why it's easier for our senses to get overstimmed. They take in more information, but a young brain is like a developing wire processor, so it causes meltdowns, whatever that looks like. What the I'm so confused. What are you saying in reference to this? I feel stupid right now. I feel so dumb. What about 3D anime women? They're fine, but I still consider them 2D because can you literally be inside of a 3D world where there's 3D anime women? No! That's not a fucking thing! I love coming into a statement without context. Yeah, me too. I feel baka. I feel super baka. Baka des. Okay, what the fuck is this? Stripper magician? Is this safe for work? Why is this on my Reddit? Moss?
Stripper magician. A wonderful addition to parties and funerals, also police suspicion. I think there's something shiny behind your ear. I can also make your daughter's virginity disappear. Take a look at my magic stick. It makes dreams come true with just one lick. Flick. Pulling out these scarves like I pull out of your daughter. I'm a magic man, a real Harry Potter. Bibbidi Bop and Alec.
Damn, I liked it. Hold on. We have to restart this, but I would just not pull out of the daughter. This is actually great. I want to learn this.
A wonderful addition to parties and funerals, also police suspicion. I think there's something shiny behind your ear. I can also make your daughter's virginity disappear.
Yeah.
Take a look at my magic stick. It makes dreams come true with just one lick. Flick. Pulling out these scarves like I pull out of your daughter. I'm a magic man, a real Harry Potter. Bibbidi Bop and Alakazam. When I go to town, I break diaphragms. Stripper magician on a musical mission.
Is this the first funny woman?
School, but I still have ambition. For my next trick, I'll need a wire coat hanger. This one's for the dads that didn't mean to bang her. My magic hat is where I keep my tips. Safe from taxation, it's an easy trick. I call it tax evasion, plain and simple. The US government is the one that I swindle. Stripper magician, making sexual transmissions. I may not pay my taxes, but at least I have your digits. Pick a card. Any card, and if your friend's in need, I'll make his penis hard. Stripper magician.
There's somebody on 4chan calling her a pick-me right now. Stripper magician. I actually love that. Actually, I want to learn that now. Stripper magician. Pull out of these cards like I pull out of your daughter. This peak. Wow. Wow, this is peak. This is peak. Okay, Momocon Demonites. Okay. All right. Oh shit, we're about to get copyright claimed. Oh my god, Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba. Sweet chatty of mine. Look how kawaii sugoi desu. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not even funny, by the way. It's not even funny when you like, everybody makes short jokes, so guess what? It's not even funny. That place looks so cool. Where the fuck did you eat? Was that the Korean barbecue place? They look like they're talking shit because they are. They're talking shit because you keep making fun of the height of my fucking standee. That's such a cool jacket. It's such a cool jacket. Oh my god. Oh my god. Guys, do you think I did a good job on the signatures or did I fuck it up? Oh my god, that's crazy! You got a picture of it? Oh my god. Chatty, can you believe that people like me? There are a couple people out there who like me. It's pretty crazy in my opinion. I did great. Yeah, you can see me getting laggy in that one picture. That's so funny. But guys, look how cute I look. Don't I look cute? I look so prepared. Look at me. I'm on a big screen. I'm on the telly. Lucy on the telly. Not the Aventurine one. I felt like maybe they were stalking me because Aventurine's one of my favorite characters right now. Wish I was there, but happy for the people who got there. There's always next time, bro. There's always next time. There's always a chance as long as I'm not dead. There can always be a next one. Yeah, you're hot. You think I'm hot? Guy who calls himself loser nerd? You make me sound like a bitch. No, I'm sorry. But when you literally come to my chat and you say nice things to me and you name yourself loser nerd, you make me sound like a Stacy. It's like, aw, thank you, you fucking loser nerd piece of shit. How dare you speak? Like, it comes across like that. You gotta change your username if you're gonna compliment women. Stay ever, best day ever. This is so cute. Thank you guys for putting this together, and thank you again for coming to see me. I'm so happy. I really thought it would be a lot less people, so I was very shocked. I'm just glad I got to see all of you, and I'm sorry that it got fucking cut. Like, you guys had to be cut off and shit. Okay, so we're gonna watch these trailers. Let's watch these trailers. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Alright, this is Resident Evil. I have never seen an environment like this in Resident Evil. It looks too normal and not desolate. Maybe the real horror was working at a corporation. Being in a desk office job. Oh? Oh? I thought she was sitting. Wait, she is sitting like L. Oh my god, she's L!
Grace.
Grace!
Grace.
Grace!
Grace Ashcroft.
Yes?
My office.
Oh,
Gender bent L, and then they gave her white hair.
Coming.
Oh my god, she's just like me already. Clumsy. She's literally the anime girl who's like, I'm tripping on top of the zombie and my
This is
tits are
about
in
the
its
report
face!
you asked for yesterday. It'll be ready in 3. No, 2 days, tops.
Put a hold on that for now. We found another
How
body.
old is she?
One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating. Now I need a good technical analyst on this.
Okay.
Am I crazy? I feel like the movements of her face while talking are a bit weird.
Crime scene.
Like, why is she smiling like this right now?
The Renwood Hotel. I know that's where your mother
White
was
girl
murdered.
smile?
Alyssa died 8 years ago.
No, Alyssa, no!
Face the past. Grace.
Oh my god, she's sweaty. Oh, she's tied up. Close your eyes, Chatty. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Don't look.
What is this? Hey!
I'm sorry. I'm doing misogynist behaviors. I apologize. It'll happen again.
They're coming.
Oh my god, sick clothes.
You're the one that I've been searching for. A special one.
Is this that one guy from the village?
Miss Ashcroft.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Which one? I forgot his name.
You are my hope.
Everyone's gone.
Stay away from that!
Oh? Raya, thank you for the 17 months. I appreciate it. I somehow feel like I didn't really learn much of anything about what this is going to be about, but I'm still hyped for it anyway, and I want to play it when it comes out live on stream. Real. Real. I also appreciate the funny part where it sounds like she's having sex or like filming a porn if you close your eyes for like the first 5 seconds of that shot. Silent Hill F! I want to watch it! Is there a Twitter link of the trailer somewhere? So that I don't have to log in to fucking YouTube. Please, because look at this. It's gonna make me log in. It's gonna make me log in. Why? I won't do it. You can't make me do it. Why the extra? Why does the link have girl cock in it? Girlcockx.com. Bro? Bro? The way I tap back... What the fuck? I'm not joking! I mean, yeah, am I gonna look it up live on stream? Well, extra, you'll be dead if I get actual, like, girl cock in here. It literally said girl cock. It did. Okay, we're watching the trailer, Everyone shut up. Wait, no subtitles? I can understand it, but you'll never understand. It's over. I want to talk to someone. Traitor! Called her ass a traitor. Damn, they're doing some Karen shit in this fucking game. Oh my god. I just know that guy's gonna turn out to be a total asshole. I can feel it. It's so obvious. Lucy, please translate. I'll do it if it's easy. Oh, it's wood, by the way. Don't come closer! Died. Oh my god, that's so violent! Oh, you're the tentacle monster! No! That's how you know it really is in Japan. That's how you know. That's brutal. Hinako. She in the fields. Damn. There really is some Karen shit going on in this game. Oh, what is this? Usoda! Oh my god, this is the Higurashi guy! He put Usoda here! Usoda! Okay, Rina. We see you, Rina. I don't like it when it's dark. I don't want to be alone. Oh my god, she's got a Naginata holy base? Oh my god. All the way through tag is real now. I love the designs of all the enemies here. It's very intriguing. Damn. The F stands for fuck traitors and whores. That's what it stands for. I still don't know what F stands for, and at this point, I am afraid to ask. I genuinely don't know. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't fucking get it. I'm clueless. Literally clueless out here. But chatty. That's the stream. And that's game. Let's check the scoreboard. It says 5 million chatty loves out of 10. 5,000 chatty loves. Is this true? Chatty, is this true? Do you agree with this scoreboard? Do you think it's accurate? Do you think it's right? Are you sure about that? Are you 100% sure? I'm sure. Yeah. Yep. I like when Chatty has a lisp. Okay, who the fuck am I gonna rate? I be flossing? No, I do not be flossing. I do be looking, though. I do be looking, trying to see what people are fucking doing. Naruhodo, naruhodo desu ne. Okay. I'll raid Zentrea. Feel like I haven't had that opportunity in 1,000 fucking years, so. Looks like they're in the middle of a collab as well, so we'll just drop in and say hello and just, yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. But Chatty, thank you for hanging out with me. I am sorry for being so dead and allowing it to fuck with me and canceling streams over it. But I think if I had streamed yesterday, I would have been the most negative Nancy that you would ever see me be in my entire life before. And you would have been like, damn, that Lucy Pyre, she sure is a negative Nancy. And then I would have been like, no, Chatty, my job is to make you smile. I can't believe I failed you. I'll never become an idol now. And then I would have died and crashed out because I'm not idol pilled enough. And then maybe, I mean, nobody knows what would have happened, Chatty. We can only theorize. Lucy will always love Chatty. It's never your fault. I feel like a parent explaining a divorce. It's never your fault, Chatty. It's never your fault. It's always my fault. It's always my fault and my inability to get a handle on my mental illness bullshit. But I am very grateful that I have a Chatty that's understanding and puts up with me anyway. Thank you so much, Chatty, for being here. And also, did you know that I have a cup that you can use code Lucy to get 10% off of your Gamer Subs order? Oh shit, it's timing out. Bye, Chatty! I love you! Bye-bye! Bye! Bye-bye-bye!